center of all the evil gods! Legendary! Meet your end! Legendary! Double kill!
We've got each other's back.
Legendary!
We're the best duet ever.
An enemy has been slain!
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Legendary! Monster kill!
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee!
OSIM.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian and Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused bacteria in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian and Acno 5. This is Team Half Secret for acne-free skin.
I am the priestess of primal lightning, the hunter of all the evil gods. Legendary. Meet your end. Legendary. Double kill.
We've got each other's back.
Legendary.
We're the best duet ever.
An enemy has been slain.
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Legendary. Monster kill.
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused bacteria in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. This is Team Hulk's secret for acne-free skin.
I am the priestess of primal lightning. The hunter of all the evil gods. Legendary. Meet your end. Legendary. Double kill.
We've got each other's back.
Legendary.
We're the best duet ever.
An enemy has been slain.
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Legendary. Monster kill.
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian and Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused bacteria in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian and Acno 5. This is Team Hulk's secret for acne-free skin.
First blood. I am the priestess of primal lightning, the hunter of all the evil gods. Legendary. Meet your end. Legendary. Double kill.
We've got each other's back.
Legendary.
We're the best duet ever.
An enemy has been slain.
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Legendary. Monster kill.
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
and gentlemen, today is the day, fans and friends, right here of MPL SG Season 5. Right now, we are down to our top 3 teams, and we are just one step closer to finding our brand new champions who will represent us on the international stage over at MSC 2023, which will be held in Cambodia, Phnom Penh, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, this is such an exciting day. We have unfortunately seen teams go. That is very unfortunate indeed yesterday, but today is a brand new day, and all mayhem is going to break loose later on over at the Land of Dawn. We're so very excited here today. Now, I'm standing right now for the playoffs at the gorgeous Suntec City, and we will be having 2 matches today, namely at 10 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. If you want to come on down and join us here to soak in all of this energy, ladies and gentlemen, come on down and join us right here at Suntec City. We're located at the atrium between Tower 1 and 2. If you're thinking that maybe you couldn't get a seat, don't worry. Right here, we do have many different floors where you guys can get spectacular views of the playoffs. So if you're looking to come on down, wait no more. Grab your friends and your family and come on down and support your favorite boys for hashtag Our Pride, Our Passion right here for MPLSG Season 5. Now here on the venue itself, we do have so many exciting activities as well. First and foremost, if you guys are gonna head on over to Frank by OCBC, they do have some amazing cash vouchers that you can stand a chance to win. All you guys need to do is just sign up for a Frank by OCBC card. Most importantly, that is absolutely free to do. So head on down and join our friends over at Frank by OCBC. Over on the other side, you guys are able to experience booths from OSIM as well. Now, what makes it really exciting is you guys get to experience the exact same U-Throne V gaming chair that our players are experiencing right here. Even in the toughest games, you can relax with the OSIM U-Throne V. So head on down and, test out these gaming chairs for yourselves. Over on the other side, we also have our team booths. If you guys want to get your own merchandise to support your favorite teams, they are all available here, as well as official MPLSG merchandise. Other than that, if you guys are huge cosplayers, come on down and join us, and the first 10 cosplayers are able to secure themselves some swag packs. So that's really cool. Other than that, if you guys just want to be a live audience right here with us, that's perfectly A-okay as well, because you're able to join our stamp collection activity, collect stamps, and be rewarded with lovely prizes right here from us at MPLSG Season 5. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to grab this opportunity to give you a little bit of a rundown on what happened yesterday. Yesterday, we are very sad to see 3 teams go, but let's take a look at the overall standings right now. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday on the Saturday, 15th April, for the first match of Match 5 that happened at 10 a.m., it was very unfortunate to see Team SMG SG, who was previously in the regular season's 3rd place, be sent home after getting swept by Evil 2-0. And thereafter, Match 6, Saturday, 15th April, Flash came in a flash and took 2-0 from Stellar SG. And thereafter, Match 7, Saturday, 15th of April at 3 p.m., we have seen the match that we have all been waiting for. RSG Slate SG against Bleed. And just by one crucial game, RSG took that game from them and proceeded to ascend to the grand final. Whereas for Match 8 itself, the final match closing the show yesterday, we see Flash sweeping Evil 2-0, sending Evil home. And thereafter, today, we will be seeing Flash going head-to-head against Bleed in a few moments' time at 10 a.m. And this is a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. And thereafter, the grand finals. Which one of these two teams will head on over and battle it out with our defending champions, RSG Slate SG. Stick around. This is the crucial match that you want to watch, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, this is something that we are all looking for, because right here at MPL SG, we are a relatively new region because we're only at Season 5 compared to all of our other counterparts abroad. And with that being said, we have two champions for Season 1, 2, and the same champion right here for Season 3 and 4, and that is RSG Slate SG. Will they be the first right here at MPL SG to have 3 consecutive wins? That we can only find out right here in this season. So yes, without further ado, MPL SG Season 5 is only possible, of course, with your support and all of our wonderful sponsors. MPL SG Season 5 is powered by Moontime and Zenway Productions. And of course, our official partners, Frank Bio CBC and the amazing Ghanaian men. Our partners in esports, OSIM, My Republic, and the gorgeous Suntec City Mall, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, without further ado, we are all super pumped and very excited for this match. So without further ado, let's present our two teams, shall we? This is a very exciting matchup, as I have mentioned. Team Flash, they came back epically, and of course, they are adamant when it comes to their assassin jungle. That's something that we can anticipate. And of course, unorthodox picks as well. Even yesterday, we have seen a Valier pick right here from Team Flash. And let's not forget, in regular season, they were one team to actually pick Luo E as well. Surprising picks, very unorthodox, fearless play right here from Team Flash. Whereas over on the other hand, our veterans right here, Bleed Esports, Titans in their own rights. Will the experience triumph them through this match? Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the teams. First up, put your hands together for Bleed Esports! So after getting reverse swept, unfortunately, by RSG Slate SG yesterday in the upper brackets, Bleed Esports now faces off with Team Flash for their ticket to the grand finals once again. Will they be able to secure what was rightfully theirs? Let's welcome them in right here on stage with you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, going head-to-head against our Titans right here this round is the fearless Team Flash! After dropping from the upper brackets of day 1 of the playoffs, this team has fought tooth and nail all the way, eliminating Stellark SG and the crowd favorites Evil from the playoffs. Standing in their way to the grand finals is the giants that are Bleed Esports. And let's welcome Team Flash, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, now the brains behind two teams. From Team Flash, we have KZP. And over on the other hand, from Bleed Esports, we have a youngin and analyst Potato. Friendly fist bumps going around the boys right now as they head on over to their battle stations. Boy, oh boy, this is such a clutch match, ladies and gentlemen, because we will find out who will unfortunately go home empty-handed and who will ascend to the grand finals to face off in the competition where they have a potential chance to score themselves the championship from RSG Slate SG. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a match that you don't want to miss. So without further ado, I'm going to hand on over this highlight match to our 3 amazing casters. Take it away, guys.
Welcome to MPL Singapore Season 5. We're in the playoffs. This is, of course, day 3. My name is Holler. With me is Jace and, of course, Kin. We have a banger of a game. This is, of course, starting it out 10 a.m. Suntec. This is exactly what we wanted. We have Team Flash and we have Bleed Esports. Your thoughts, Jace, on this first matchup?
You know, yesterday I had a nightmare. I couldn't sleep last night. I had a nightmare. And the nightmare, it was just happy, happy, happy. I swear to God, like,
okay.
that has given me so much PTSD. But Team Flash, I think they will pull out something very weird today, Kin.
Yes, they have this very nice versatility. You know, yesterday when we were looking at the games, the Valier pick, it was something very brand new, right? I like this introduction, and I believe they have more to offer today as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we saw just a hint of it, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of growth. The players are getting better. It's almost like, I mean, we joke about the evil playoff buff, but in this case, Team Flash, were they expect to be the top 3 here, Chase?
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the lineup soon, right? Maybe I can talk about more about the growth, right, Holler, because we're going to take a look at this particular lineup, my favorite, of course, Bleed Esports, right? FMN, Sailor, Gear, Deck, and JPL. They've shown signs of crack against RSG, and it's actually alarming. But we talk about growth. On the other hand, Team Flash, they've improved. Week 1, yesterday we were talking about this, right? Like we literally strike them off in week 1. But when they start to come into the playoff, Vanek stepped up a lot.
Yes, he has improved a lot throughout the regular season, and now he has hit his peak right smack in the playoffs as well. If you take a look at
his power spike.
Yep, exactly. Team Flash, right? Vanex, J, Vex, Yon, as well as Kremgod. I just want to mention that the way now Team Flash is looking to me is they're like an U-Black, right? If we meet them with force, they're going to be extremely hard. They have a very strong physical defense. But if you are too passive, they're just going to swallow you up as well.
Yeah, of course. And they've swallowed up many teams as they've gotten here. I think it was a very arduous journey just to get themselves in this position. But again, top 3 going into this one where, they're kind of on the rise. They've kind of stepped up. But if you're looking at Bleedy Sports, they had that 2-0. They got reverse swept. A little bit of a kind of discombobulated game almost.
Yeah, exactly, Holler. It's like what I said. They show signs of crack. It feels like sometimes, they know what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I think they self-sabotage themselves. They go into this weird spiral, and it's really hard to climb up. But let's take a look at the keys of victory, because this is something that they need to look out for. Sailor needs to secure a strong matchup. Like the Lilia, get him to start roaming, bring in the Kagura as well. But sometimes, in this particular meta, we prefer artillery mages because it provides you with this high ground, right? And it's all about the farm all the way to the late game. Don't forget, Bleed takes a long time to start the engine, but when they start the engine going, they will storm. But Team Flash need to punish them during these early phases of the game where they're not really kicking in the gears yet, no pun intended. But of course, make sure they be careful about the crazy picks coming in KCP, because Team Flash reminds me of Todak. I cannot predict what they're gonna drop at all.
Yep, exactly. I like the fact that, we are mentioning about the crazy picks from KCP.
I gave up analyzing
okay, now,
Team Flash.
KCP to me is a very important juncture in the Team Flash lineup. Right?
Yeah, but speaking of Team Flash, let's talk about the keys to victory, Ken. How about you walk us through what exactly do they need to do to ensure that they've got this victory?
I mean, we were talking about it already, right? Mr. Dear Vanix, the goal lane is definitely the focus for them. As long as Vanix pops off, Team Flash already have half of the win in the bag already. And of course, Vex itself, we have seen Vex, he has played a couple of heroes in the regular season. His joy was a joy to his team, right? For sure, it was a joy for his team. And we have seen the Edith as well, and a couple of other heroes. And now, the fact that they have so much versatility, I think we want to make sure that Vex gets power picks. But here's the thing, almost everything seems powerful in Vex hands. And of course, the last one is to keep an eye on JPL. RSG SG showed us these strategies yesterday, right? When they actually just focused on JPL, he couldn't do a thing. And I think it disabled Bleed for a little bit. So perhaps they can look at doing that as well today.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the team, I mean, Team Flash is really, everybody's kind of stepping up, right?
Yeah.
I think they've kind of seen the spotlight. The playoffs are here, and they're starting to grow. Like, we're seeing this team that's kind of, like, growing before our eyes. I'm very proud of them, like, as a proud father, even surrogate father. But nonetheless, they're here. I mean, they've kind of done that. But now, let's talk a little bit about the stats in terms of how they got here, the playoffs for all of these pieces.
Yep, we're going to take a look at the Bleed stats first, right? Because, like, Bleed, of course, one of the titans of MPL Singapore. Of course, we are looking them at least top 2, right?
Yeah,
they shouldn't be able to drop here, but Team Flash, on the other hand, showing a very strong hand. Now, Bleed, taking a look at all these stats all across the board, JPL taking a lot of damage. That's 1.7 million, if I'm not mistaken. Lucian QT yesterday from RSG, I think 1.2 million, if I'm not mistaken. But throughout these stats, I don't think the stats really matter anymore. I feel like it's all about going in, making sure that Deck does have this headspace, does have this space to farm out to become the jungler. JPL, on the other hand, we mentioned, right, Team Flash to focus on him, make sure where he is going. But JPL sometimes may over-aggress a little bit, and some teams have started to pick on him and then pull him down, kill him off. Then all of a sudden, you don't have Peel anymore for Bleed.
Yep, exactly. If you take a look at the flip side, right? When we take a look at Team Flash, the kill participation is much lower compared to what we see on Bleed previously, right? Which means that they're focused less on fighting. And that's the style that is so scary about Team Flash, right? They will avoid team fights, they get the map control, and you know, you take a look at Vanix's average GPM, 713, not too far away from FMM as well. But the way that they win the games is so much more dangerous because they get to swallow up the entire opponent. Like you give them some space, they already have the map, and that's when they will ask you to take a fight with them.
Right, and if we're looking at some of the games yesterday, I think that it was very apparent that RSG tried to force Deck to have a bad game, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's kind of the all-star. He was pretty much suffocated from minute one. But now if we're looking more for Team Flash, we know that Vanix is kind of on the rise. Are people paying attention? Are they going to force Vanix to have somewhat of a rough game?
I feel like, yes, you can expect JPL maybe to rotate towards the gold lane, but also there's another issue, in my opinion, is that I think Bleed cannot tunnel vision into what Team Flash would do. I think they're unbannable, right? You can't predict what's going on. Youngin should have put in too much effort in there. I think it's all about securing the comfort heroes that Bleed has, and don't think about, okay, what do I need to ban out?
Yes, for sure, for sure. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, they're very diverse.
Yeah.
They can kind of pick whatever they want. So I like that going into that. That versatility is really going to help them into the playoffs. This is, of course, a best of 5. So there's going to be a lot of head games. It's going to be like chess, in that
Mind
sense.
games.
The mind games are going to be playing from minute 1, right?
Yep, exactly. And of course, what this means for the game is it really depends on how it's started off.
Yeah.
This first game of this best of 5 series is going to set the tone, right? And you will let number 1 Bleed understand, okay, maybe we have an idea of how Flash is thinking, but you have to get hit first.
That is true. And we saw Bleed Esports do that too. I mean, they got the 2-0. They were like, you saw the camera, like everybody was like so pumped up and they were kind of like really into it, which is great. But the thing is that, hey, you haven't won anything yet, right?
Yes,
it's one of those moments where you got to kind of like taper down, you got to like settle down and understand that we got to finish, we got to get that third game.
Yeah, I think it's all about focus, right? Bleed lost focus in the the third game yesterday, and then after that it started to spiral out of control. Especially towards a team like RSG, relies on momentum. You give him one small little bit of a start of fuel, you have an inferno that you cannot stop. Bleed cannot stop the inferno. Now, Team Flash, on the other hand, I think they're also relying, especially you're looking at a player like Yon, right? An assassin jungler, now starting to pick up some side hobbies, such as, the tank slot and even the tank junglers as well.
Right, let's bring it out. I mean, everything is good. It's starting to work, and they're making everything. They're turning, it's almost like a rags to riches story.
Guys.
No,
No,
Wait,
we're not doing this again.
What? Yes,
guys, no. Change it.
There is an issue here. Okay, let me be clear here. All right, my prediction was actually for Flash. It was not for Bleed.
Okay, production, can we quickly
Really?
change it? Because the last
Yes.
time
Okay.
this happened. No, not like this.
We want to avoid the caster
Not like
curse here,
this.
right?
Yes.
It was pretty much a caster curse.
No, but for the record, Kin did actually say that he did choose Flash going into this one, so it is a bit of a mistake. So it is 2-1.
Okay.
But, I just want to know, Jace, why you're on the correct side is with me.
What?
I think we have to trust in the Bleed brand, right? They are the 2 titans of MPL Singapore, but of course, taking a look at their predictions right here.
I like this. I like this percentage, right? It is pretty even, and I think I like the Facebook a little bit more.
Okay. I mean, but don't get me wrong. This is very neck and neck, right? This is, of course, the top 3. We expected this one to go the distance, and I mean, I don't think there's going to be any discrepancy in that sense. But who's going to win that game 5? You're going to be wrong, and it's going to be funny.
Okay, let's take a look at them.
Hey, I think okay. I think it's a bit too early to say this, Holler, because
it's never too early.
I don't. All of a sudden, you lose that confidence, especially yesterday, right? Towards Bleed, but I think they need all that support that they need to really pull through to maintain that brand they always have. The 2 titans of MPL Singapore. On the other hand, Team Flash, they're not looking shabby either.
Yep, right now it is about damage limitation. They need to figure out how to learn about their opponents without giving away a loss in this game 1. So we must see how are they going to draft themselves to, number 1, make sure that the growth on both of the MMs of their team will be able to sustain into the late game. And of course, this early game
I will choose my own path.
Decided by the first picker. And with that, first pick is going to go for Bleed, right? And that will kind of allow them to set the stage. And you can see the respect
is banning.
shown by Team Flash.
I think both sides, right? You remember we mentioned Vetch very likes that Arlot a lot, and then Bleed as well, taking away the Kaja because Cramgod are known to play this as well. But don't forget, Cramgod has played the Digi Mage, and he does a lot of AoE damage too with it.
Yep, exactly. And of course, with that, like I said, the respect ban on that deck Fanny and no Joy as well. Now, I mean, Gear's Joy was kind of scary yesterday. There were flashes of brilliance,
No pun intended.
but I think it would be better not to have a Joy in the hands of Gear again, and definitely no Fanny for deck.
I think Bleed, most importantly, don't pull any funny business, right? No monkey business coming out from their side. Just ban standards. But don't forget, Team Flash, they will
I didn't
draft
cure the
reacting
pain.
Your
towards
team
I
is
harnessed
but
banned.
Bleed going in, banning when the Valentina, you're expecting... This is basically telltale signs. You can always predict how Bleed is going to go. That's definitely going to be a Faramis first pick.
Yep, and of course, that way, Bleed actually leads the conversation here, right?
Correct.
Bleed kind of decides what the drop is going to be for Team Flash, which is kind of scary, because if someone's able to follow suit with the direction you're leading, most of the time, they can kind of figure out what you're thinking about as well.
Yeah, but I mentioned it just now going to game number 1, right? I gave up analyzing for Team Flash because they're so unpredictable. The Vela came out and they're basically just going to play reactive role, right? Bleed is going to be the one, like what you mentioned, they're going to be leading the charge, Kin. But right here, I bet Team Flash will adapt. And in this particular
You are
season 5,
facing a
you realize the
Is
first
picking.
team that start to react and start to adapt quickly will usually win. Case in point, RSG versus Bleed in game number 3.
Yep,
Your
exactly.
team is
And of
picking.
course, with this, Bleed going back to the Faramis
To
strat,
live
let's have the
is to
Cult
trick
Outer on
the
hand, and that's going to
Reaper.
save us a lot. And you know, that repositioning, that pullback from the Shadow Stampede, very important. But the only question for Sailor is, what is he going to pick in terms of his skills? Will he take the Flicker for that Flicker Shadow Stampede, or will it be a Purify, depending on what they have on the side of Flash, right?
I think it's a bit too early to say this, right? It's all about reaction in terms of the battle spell, so it really depends on what Team Flash pick. Now, don't forget, Team Flash, I remember yesterday clearly, you see the Faramis being picked up, immediately, I think it was Team Evo that banned away the lure
Let them
yesterday,
come.
right?
They will only
in
make
that
my
particular game.
blade
So, which
sharper.
means that looking at Team Flash right here,
Your
okay,
team
that's
is
going to be a
picking.
Cho, that's also going to be a Benedetta, same problem as well. AoE damage that splits all across the board. Call Altar will be a little bit scary, and then you also have the Cho to isolate somebody off. Perhaps if you get a money kick, that would be kicking on the Faramis, then all of a sudden you lose that Cult Altar.
Yep, and besides having a good fighting option, this is also playing to the strengths of Flash, right? That map control, that objective control, they clear waves fast on the side of Vex. So this EXP lane, if it is going to be an EXP lane Benedetta, you're going to see the EXP laner on the side of Bleed having a bit of trouble keeping up with the pacing of Vex here.
Okay, now, don't forget, this is Team Flash that we're talking about. Immediately when you see a Cho, you immediately think, okay, that's definitely the roam. That's definitely going to be Cramgod picking up that Cho, right? But don't forget, Jay has pulled out the Cho
See
mid
value
lane.
in me?
Yes, concussive blast,
all that
and
matters.
you've got decent wave clear, and you can also rotate. Technically speaking, that's the calling of a mid. That's the calling of a mid, right? You don't necessarily have to build mage, but that also leads to even something more interesting. Even a gold lane mage going in, like the Harif, or even down to the Nathan as well.
Yep, exactly. And now, of course, on the side of Bleed, FMM and Deck, they're going to secure the 1-1 as well.
A bit too early,
as
I think.
Brethren. Well, I think, okay, the 1-1 definitely makes sense, right? 1-1 needs a bit of time to set up and get the stacks on board before the crossbow of tanks can be used. And of course, it's a damage over time kind of situation for the side of 1-1, which makes sense with the synergy with Sailor, right? He can offer you the Cult Outer if things go Ori, but at the same time, he can provide the protection for you as well.
That's
Your
smart.
team
That's going to
is
be
banning.
Claude going into the hands of Vanning. So which means that, okay, no conspiracy theories right here. Team Flash is going to stick to normal picks and bans, but don't forget, they can always switch it up. If they really want to try to counter this 1-1, there's a Phobius open. The Mincetar was really wide open. They could actually take, if you played a 1-1 against a Mincetar, it's super difficult because you just don't really have that dash anymore. It's make it very hard for you to actually pull off that crossbow attack.
Yep, exactly. And of course, with that, now we are going to be heading into the final phase of the bans as well. No, Jace, what are you thinking about when you look at Team Flash's draft here?
I told you I gave up analyzing the team.
Give it a try, man. Give it a try.
I'll give it a try.
Good
Sometimes
morning.
taken away. That means that they're really afraid of being picked up because Team Flash, they have a lot of AoE, right? They have there's Benedetta, the final blow, and then after that, Electro final blow. You also have the Blazing Wet. They're looking at the backline, and especially when Team Bleed Esports is looking to stick together, make sure that Sailor has the Cult Altar on top of Deck, and Deck showed that he's actually really comfortable on this veteran. Yesterday, it's 0 death, if I remember correctly. 6-0-10 is the KDA. And of course, you know, they can always change it up, right? Team Flash will definitely use this last pick to switch it up all of a sudden for you.
Yeah, exactly. I think here's one thing about Bleed that I'm interested to know. Like, end of the day, this Paramis can go on the roam as well. It could be a flexible pick. I'm not saying that they will do it, but I think that's an option they can explore.
I mean, yes, it's like
it's against Team Flash,
correct.
right?
It's like, you know, you're trying to chop you're trying to chop a meat, right, with bones in it with just a vegetable knife. It works. You'll get it through. You'll slice it apart, but it will take time. It's not the best. And
Horology is my
spot.
craft.
But
Diggy
now
is my
there's gonna
name.
be a Diggy. That could be something very interesting coming up in Team Flash now.
Yep, the ban on Diggy. Now, we have already seen JPL using the Atlas yesterday. Of course, it wasn't working that much for them. It was just a hard situation for them. Perhaps they want to put JPL in a similar situation. They're not trying to force the pick here, but like you said, it's kind of predictable on the side of Bleed what they're going for.
Yeah, not just that, right? Team Flash denied JPL on that show. Now they're focusing lots of picks of JPL. That's exactly what we mentioned during the season victory.
Now
right?
Akai enters the
Your
scene.
team is
taken
picking.
out as well, coming up from Bleed. I mean, right here, looking at Team Flash, this particular pick would definitely dictate which role or which basically solidify their roster in a sense.
Yep, exactly. And you know, we were talking about the mind games at the start of this series, right?
Yep.
And I think right off the bat, it's pretty clear. They're trying to limit what JPL and Gear can think about. It's not even about the choice of options. Right now, it could go either way in a sense where more is less, right? I give you whatever heroes you want on the side of the
Starlight of
but when you have
Pisces
two
shines
choices,
on my
you are
sword.
kind of left with none in that sense.
Okay,
Unleash the inner evil
about none,
and let it prevail.
I don't know why it reminds me of Revival once again, but okay, Crime God will be going back to his tank slot right now. Looking at Bleed, they don't really have this very big hard CCs. It's mostly soft, right? And that's something that, you know, Crime God is definitely looking out for. And I feel, not say Crime God, but Yon will be definitely looking out for. But I personally feel like it's really hard to... Okay, I feel like they're lacking magic damage right now from Blue Flash. They need someone that has a big magic damage, something hard hitting. The Eve is already is not banned away, and none of these teams are picking it up just yet. I think Team Flash may secure the Eve this time around.
I mean, the way I see it, it
A
could
punch
be
for
an
a punch.
effort again, but okay, I like
team
this.
is picking.
Lee gonna go with the Paquito and the Kufra. Okay, Kufra makes a lot of sense. You want to be able to jump in with your Tyrant's Rage into a Tyrant's Revenge. If you can stop, you know, the Claude from making good plays, it essentially breaks down the entirety of Team Flash, right? Because in the early game, I think JPL will be able to put a lot of pressure on Vanix, on this Vanix Claude, and that will shut him down. And it's, while they have an early game presence in the sense of Benedetta and Cho as well, you know, Team Flash, they need to depend on Vanix in the late game. And if Vanix doesn't snowball fast enough, it could cost them this first game.
Yeah. This time around, Bleed at this juncture, right? There's a lot of big bursting damage, but yeah, a little bit of in terms of the CCs. Yes, there is that Kufra that provides a lot. The bouncing ball, and look at Team Flash, right? There's so many damage on the other side. That's a Lancelot. There's a Florin coming up from Team Flash.
It's a Florin. Okay, the first Florin we've seen in MPL SG, and I mean, okay, I was speaking to KZP just now, right? And he said, you know what? Just look at our versatility later. And okay, sure, I like this.
That's definitely Cho going in the mid lane. That's what we mentioned earlier just now. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, right? I played the 1-1 quite a lot recently, right? And Florin is a big problem for 1-1. Because of this AoE stun, you have to dodge it, and it makes it super hard to get your stacks up. And this is something that, you know, Team Flash will have to take a look out for.
As we go into the lower bracket finals, Kin, your final prediction. We see the draft. What are your thoughts going in?
Simple. Team Flash, man. There's no need to question it. Team Flash, that versatility going to change up the game for sure.
All right, thank you so much, Kin. We're going to go into this one now. It's going to be, of course, game 1. Jace, your thoughts on the draft as we go into this one?
5
Team Flash
seconds till the
literally,
enemy
pulling
reaches
out
the
stops right here.
battlefield.
It's very scary to give Team Flash the second pick, and this is the reason why. A Florin coming out
Welcome
like
to
this,
Mobile
and especially
Legends.
to kind of slow down everybody. Don't forget, the Florin AoE stun, Sailor on the Cult Altar will make sure that Bleed sticks together. So this is something that Bleed has to look out for.
Yeah, and I think Team Flash have done a great job of drafting. Being able to take that last pick tends to be, somewhat of a surprise, and they've kind of rounded out the drafts, and they've done quite well for themselves. I feel like going into these games, that Team Flash have been so far in the playoffs, have been far superior in that drafting phase.
Yeah, just this unpredictability is just literally throwing everybody off. Especially when Youngin always tend to sometimes overthink too much, and sometimes it costed him the whole draft. But look at how Flash is also reacting. The reason why Gear went for Pepito is also to match with the rotation, but speaking of which, is going to be Vetch rotating to the mid lane first.
Yeah, and a little bit of a skirmish there. JPL taking a little bit of damage, but of course, the Kufra is going to take quite a bit. I mean, he's very tanky enough. He's fine. Nothing is given up at this stage. You don't want to give up first blood, especially in the first minute.
Yeah, JPL used to have this first blood curse because he used to overextend a little bit. This time around, JPL is just pulling back slightly. Now, don't forget, this is normal for Bleed to take their time to slowly farm out to get to level 4, and then they'll start committing for a fight. Team Flash, on the other hand, they're trying to look for picks right here. Look at Yon just shoving the mid lane very quickly so that Jay can immediately quickly rotate with him.
Yeah, it's smart, right? And it's going to set themselves up, making a rotation towards that turtle, which is going to be up in about 15 seconds. I would say not the game ender, but of course the first turtle being very important. You want to make sure that you kind of secure as much area, and then, presence is felt throughout the entire game.
Definitely. Sailor, on the other hand, still lacking in the level 4. In the meantime, Jay also the same. Level 3 struggling right there. So don't expect these Omega big ultimates, but hold on a second. Gear is already here. There's no punch going in. Yon half HP.
Oh, Yon getting very low. Gear just making a pay, so to speak, but now I think they're going to give it up. Bleed is looking to take this easy turtle. Deck will secure that solo, and they've done that, and that will get the snowball running, but Gear trying to be aggressive and just, a nuisance throughout the entire map.
Yep, Gear has done his job, right, really well. Once of a punch Yon all the way down to half HP, you know that Yon all of a sudden doesn't really have the priority for the jungle anymore, and looking in this, Bleed just hard invading. They know Yon needs to go back and refresh, and Yon is actually a little bit low.
Oh, Veg getting low. Speaking of getting low, but Gear gets to safety. He has to flicker. He has to burn that
Jay's
one.
coming.
But Veg, they've got Jay on the run. He goes for the flicker of the play, and that's going to be first blood. Jay will secure that with a knockout punch.
And that's why Team Flash is scary, right? This rotation is very quick. You've got Yon on the land slot. You can rotate from one lane to another. Veg at the same time. You can just dash from one lane to another. Jay as well. This is a toe mid. Can roam as well. So it's also Team Flash, having a faster rotations compared to Bleed. But you got to take a bit of a slow down. Bleed, on the other hand, it's a lot easy to itemize against Flash because they don't really have a lot of magical damage. No, actually, no. They don't have magical damage.
Oh, JPL has to bouncy ball to safety here, but they're focusing a lot in terms of just trying to get Vanix as much space as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that they do that so that Vanix can kind of pop off. You wanted to get as much farm as possible. Very important for Team Flash to ensure that Vanix has that priority.
Okay, looking at the emblems right here, right? Concussive Blast in Jay, that's very important because remember what we mentioned, Jay needs to quickly wave clear and then rotate. That's where the Concussive Blast is very important, but I'm not seeing another 3 points that he invested. It's only just on the HP.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Focusing Mark on that, but hold on a second. Gear assassinated.
Have been killed already. They've got the knock-up, and they have Deck on the other side. But the Fenrir, Yon is going to be knocked up as well. Doesn't he be careful? He gets pulled back. Whew, Yon playing things a little dicey at this stage.
Dicey as well, but speaking of which, he also loses his all-purple buff. JPL all the way.
JPL's going to force the issue, but he's right into this. JPL just being like, no respect. I'm tanky. I'm going to punch you in the face. Yon, you go back to base.
Yeah, JPL could have killed Yon right there, right? Concussive Blast is already propped, and immediately you saw Yon going into Thorn Rose, just avoiding that damage. Just all these small little micro things that makes Yon a scary Lancelot player.
Definitely scary, but you know what's scary right now is Bleed. They've got the second turtle. They're starting to, feel it a little bit. They provided a lot of pressure, forced Team Flash to be on that back foot, and they've been very reactionary this game.
Yeah, usually you expect Bleed to take on the aggressor role, right? But this is the early game of Bleed. This is where they play reactive. Once they pick up the necessary items, when they pick up the necessary, but speaking of which, gets chased down. Sailor's already right there, trying to drag Jay.
It might have been a bait. They pull back Jay, who has to flicker to safety, and that is a not wasted cooldown because he stays alive, but very, good use, I would say. They got something out of it for Bleed.
I think Bleed will gladly take that, right? But then again, it should be almost ready by the time Turtle come on. So Team Flash need to delay that Turtle fight just a little bit, maybe 20 seconds for Jay to pick up the flicker, and then he can do this, you know, what we like to do, the reverse kick, right? Kicking someone back into the enemy. But Bleed, on the other hand, securing 2 turtles is always very good. This is a good start. But Team Flash, you know, they're not too far away.
Not too far away. Now, look, Team Flash, they have 3 members ensuring that it's defended. But look at, Deck does not care. He's going to be super aggressive, and it looks like he's going to pick up the Fenrir right there.
Deck is, you know, this is revenge for Deck, right? Yesterday, he was not having a good time. Remember, I called him a split push minion. Deck this time around starts a hard invade because Gear has, you know, make sure that Yon doesn't really have enough farm by punching him and then slowing his farm down. Just taking a look at the item, it's going to be a War Axe already built for Veg right here. It's going to go in a little bit more sustain, and then after that, maybe go into more attack.
Oh, but look at the top lane. Oh, FMM doesn't need to be a little bit careful. Okay, all right, he's going to back off. Veg and Yon is there, but JPL now making his way.
Yep, the charge is already used right here. Sayla looking for a flank, but they have to try to fight.
Oh, but Ved's getting under towers. He's going to be fine. Wow, they've backed off. They knew the limits of it. Bleed have kind of had that rotation. Are they going to force it? Oh, Deck has now joined the fight. He does the energy eruption onto Yan, but he's going to back off now.
Yeah, this time around, Bleed's, I think I'm not too sure about what's going on for Team Flash, but look at the lane swap happening, right? They're sending Vanix on the opposite side of the turtle, but that also means that Bleed can easily push in the top, and then after that rotate to the turtle. All of a sudden, Bleed has a strong top lane.
Oh, but here, 1 versus 3, he's being focused here, but the occult altar on point. Sayla says, I got you, bro.
He's the ambulance, right? Coming in at the right timing, and then just like, you know, crashing on top of Team Flash. And now, Team Flash, because of that awkward lane swap, it costed the top lane turret, and it also costed them the turtle.
Oh, Gear going in. Yon, oh, nice shadow step. Pete pulls him back, but no actual damage, unfortunately. JPL, they're on the run. They're trying to get it. FMM has joined the fray as well, and Deck has now joined as well, and they're trying to get as much as possible. But Jay, do they get the damage? FMM, they're focused. The crossbow tank will snipe him out. He's been picked off. Now Yon, Veg, all on the run.
Yep, Bleed right here, starting this vice grip already on top of Team Flash. Team Flash on this timer right here, but they do have the claw to come in as late game insurance, so they're not too phased right here. Team Flash right here has to focus on not losing too many structures, but Bleed is like, no, I'm gonna start pushing the pedal to the metal. I'm gonna stop shoving bottom lane.
Bleed have done a great job. Oh, but speaking of which, Gear dashes to safety. Yon's taking some tower shots, has to disengage now. Now, one thing they've done quite well from Bleed is that FMM has taken the top T1, has taken the bottom T1. Ensure that wherever he rotates, he's going to be left alone, ensuring that he has that farm, try to get themselves into that late game.
Yeah, remember we talk about this. This is securing Bleed's comfort pick, right? Deck on the Fredrin, FMM on the 1-1, and hold on second.
Oh, the nice kick back. Deck has been pulled.
Not a good idea.
So tanky, but Jay, now he's like, oh no, it's way too many. They've got the entire team of Bleed there, and Team Flash want none of this.
Yon has been denied on the buff again. Deck level 11, Yon only level 10. FMM does have the proc on top of Jay, but he's not going to pull it because he knows he doesn't have enough damage to kind of, you know, burst down Jay at this moment. There's no objective there, but they are focusing on the top lane instead.
Another tower going the way of FMM, and he's just like, oh, he's starting to feel it. I mean, like the player gold is #1. FMM was going in 1 versus 3. He does not care.
Yep. And right here, Bleed has to really try to shove the game down Flash's throat for now. Mid lane is still healthy, so Team Flash, as long as they maintain this mid lane turret, it's very hard for Bleed to invade the side and also invade the jungle, right? Bleed, on the other hand, they do have the power spike, and they know it, and they're looking for fights.
Yeah, they're feeling it. Oh, nice tires for Venge. Kicks him back in, and they do have Venge. That's going to be down, but they're under tower. They do need to be careful. Jay is getting a little bit low. Yon is being super aggressive, and he's going to dash away to safety. But now here, on the back end, okay, he's not going to go in.
Okay, Micro's right here, FMM, right? They know that Venge is already super low, and then at the last moment, that's where FMM is trying to strike. And then from there, using crossbow tank, he transfers the target from one target to another, and then after that, Bleed instantly rotates over to the objectives. It's all about killing and then rotate to objectives.
perfect game thus far by Team by Bleedy Sports, right? They've ensured that they've gotten every single objective, the 3 turtles, but as I say that, JPL gets knocked up. Oh, the Cult Altar keeping him alive, and he's been on point, but is he gonna perish? No, he bounces away to safety. He's fine, but now Deck is there. Yawn is in the fast spot, realizing, hey, I'm in a sea of blue. This is bad. Yawn's gonna go down, and the FMM has turned this around.
And not only just that, Sailor coming in at the Cult Altar at a very nice moment, and not only just that, Gear is actually keeping the back line of Team Flash very, very busy, and it's very crazy that Yawn, you expect him to go in for an assassination. That's 3 juicy targets for the side of Bleed, but they cannot execute it.
Oh, the way of the dragon kicks him back in. They got something out of it, and that's a nice play. They're gonna feed Vanix, but now the Lord is here. They need to stop this, just slow down the push, and of course, this is only the first Lord.
And don't forget, this time around, Team Flash doesn't really have the high ground, right? There's no artillery range, there's no long range, there's no wave clear. Team Flash, they need to be the aggressor, but they're being aggressed on. Bleed, on the other hand, can slowly take their time because Team Flash is slowly losing structures.
Team Flash need to stop. They need to hold off. They need to regroup. They've lost their map. They've lost everything at this point. All they have are the T3 standing. They need to ensure that they slow it down. I mean, it's only a 4K net worth lead. This is definitely something that they can come back to, but with the Lord up in another 100 seconds, it might be a difficult situation for Team Flash.
Yeah, but Hollow, Team Flash, on the other hand, they do have 2 or 3 members that could rotate very quickly, right? And this is the kind of draft that Team Flash decided to go. I want to win on split push. I want to win on the side lanes. I think they need to start split pushing. Abuse the fact they can rotate as, 3 or 2 different lanes, and then, force Bleed to pick, because Bleed is this big death ball right here. Flash looking to pull them apart.
But Bleed have been playing around Sayla's Cult Altar, right? Yep. How many saves has he had this game, right?
3.
He's been on point. His positioning has been there. Always ensure that he's like Superman. Is like, I see a fight. I'm going to help out my buddy. I'm going to be there. Make sure that he's saved. Yep. And he's completely on point. So, again, work around those cooldowns.
Yeah, Sayla is the superhero that doesn't wear a cape, right? But he comes with the Cult Altar. He comes with a big circle, and he can walk through walls.
Yeah, but Sayla's wearing his underwear on his pants. I mean, that's a superhero. Oh, okay, I don't know. I assume as much.
He definitely has to wear something underneath, right? But the most important thing, Team Flash, backed against the wall, they don't really have these super massive wave clear, right? Bleed, on the other hand, slowing the pace a little bit down because it's very hard for them to engage upon Team Flash because there's so much mobility. Looking at the items, Brute Force breastplate for Jay, that means that he's going to be able to chase someone down and use the just melt people down properly, right? But like I said, there is no magic items on the other side of Team Flash. Bleed, on the other hand, Veg going on 1v1.
Oh, he's just attracted attention. Veg thought he was going in. Oh, he goes in right to Gear. He's going to go 1 versus 3. Gear's getting focused down, and he's going to be sniped out. Sayla a little slow on this one. We talked about the fact that he's a Superman, and he was not able to save Gear in that case.
Okay, he's reduced to Batman right now, right? The bat signal is becoming a little bit slow right there.
And very good looking. Got it.
Yeah, he's a little bit slow right there, but that is Gear, dragging attention all the way up top because the door at the bottom side. Instead, Bleed has already shot bottom lane, but look at Team Flash rotation already there because they've got so much mobility.
Yeah, they've got a lot of mobility. Jay getting a little bit low, doesn't he? Be careful. He's got to run. He gets sniped down. FMM is just doing some work, and now he focuses his attention onto Cramgod. No. Getting a little bit low, but Vanix is going to be killed in return. Cramgod is just like, I just want to go back to base, man.
Man, the level differences between FMM and Vanix is making it. I thought FMM would have lost his life right there, but the Wind of Nature coming in very clutch. And don't forget, Sailor with the big bursty damage. And this is the problem about Team Flash's draft. They have a lot of physical damage, but they don't have the magic damage.
They don't have enough to burst it here. And that was funny because, oh no, Jan stuck into this one. 1 versus 4. He actually gets to safety, and the Lord is trying to help out the Thorn Rose, try to keep him alive and untargetable, but he's going to be sniped down. FMM is on the prowl. Jan, one more time, not able to get away, and FMM is just being fed.
Yeah, Yon right here, I think I see what he's trying to do, but Bleed already knows what Yon's going to do. He's going to try to steal the Lord away, and immediately you see how Team Flash is just switching up the gears a little bit, right? Team Flash focusing on pushing the side waves. Yes, Bleed wasn't one that take down the Lord, but this is what Team Flash can do. Looking at the damage dealt by Frank by OCVC, of course, FMM, man, he is stomping in terms of the damage.
Yeah, stomping, and it was more of the pregame, right? We highlighted Vanix, and obviously they, Bleed are watching the same, they're scouting the same games of yesterday in terms of playoffs day 2, but we saw that Vanix had really stepped up. Now, FMM was like, he took heart to that, and he was kind of like, no, I am the true marksman.
I am the true marksman. I remember Kin was saying that, Vanix is going to become the best best marksman, right? But
Yes.
I'm like, no.
Yes.
FMM's still the best marksman in Bleed, and he's taking a bit offense by that, and he's showing us this is why you don't leak the 1-1 over to Bleed.
Right, and how dare you, Kin? How dare you make the call out like that? But as we go in, the Lord's going to charge. That's going to do some structural damage on that T3. It's being focused now. Gear trying to go in, trying to make sure that they do at least focus on that T3. They do get that. FMM will pick up the gold on that. Now they focus their attention into the mid lane. And Vanix will defend deck. Oh, Vanix does need to be careful. Jay tries to get in, gets a nice way of the dragon, but a few uses the count altar in return. They're going to heal, but JPL has already been killed. Can they get anything else? They've got Vanix. That's a lot of damage that's going to be going on. Kramgon now on the run. He's been suppressed. The crossbow Tang has been focused on, but he's got the flicker. He's going to be back into safety. Yawn is now next on that list, and the FMM are saying, I think we got this one. We're going to focus on the base, and that's going to be GG. Take game one.
FMM is big. He goes in the air. Once he procs off his crossbow tank, you know he's going to shred through the roster. And this is the Bleed that we know and love. But this is also the first game. Don't forget, Team Flash, there's so many tricks in their bags, and they're waiting to just pull it out.
That was pretty amazing game. Let's pull back Kin into that one. Let's kind of break it down. What exactly happened in that game?
I think they were a bit overzealous about the full physical damage build. You know, I mean, you guys were talking about it the entire game. Okay, let me focus on Kramgod here for a moment. Kramgod's emblem was actually the focusing mark. I think they wanted to place emphasis on that because that allows you to have your allied heroes get 6% additional damage on the heroes, right? If he manages to damage someone as a Florian. So I think the concept behind it was great, but the execution was a bit difficult because I think they didn't expect the difficulty in trying to get rid of that count outer save option that Bleed had in their pocket the entire time.
Yeah, can we do something about this Faramis? I feel like every time Bleed Esports picks it up, it's just, go on.
Let me tell you how to deal with the Faramis, right? Just ban it away.
Yep, just ban.
Easy, like nobody does that. That's the
ban it
thing,
away.
right? Obviously, that's the number one option, and they should be doing that, but they're kind of like, no, we're gonna let this one go.
And Holiday, it's very obvious, right? Whenever you see Bleed ban away the Valentina, they will pick the Faramis. It's a telltale sign, and I'm actually kind of surprised Team Flash didn't pick up on that when they have this one ban slot, right? I think they went to ban the glue instead.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I think it comes back to the draft. I wasn't a huge fan of that. I like what Bleed Esports did. I mean, walk us through some of these stats, Kin.
One thing I want to focus on is actually the goal difference between FMM as well as Vanix here, right? So on the side of FMM, he is pretty much fully stacked already. Vanix is still far away. He has yet to complete his Malefic Roar here. FMM actually got his Wind of Nature within 8 minutes of game time and got his Wind Talker within 10 minutes. And that's much faster than Vanix, who actually had only, I think, 2 core items at that point of time. So at the 10-minute mark, it was already a very far ahead lead that FMM secured for himself, simply because they did not shut down JPL.
I tell you, man, FMM heard you, Kin, man. He even went for the Berserker's Fury. That is usually a very aggressive Mark 1-1 build, right? The reason why you can build a Berserker's Fury because you also build in Wind Talker, and don't forget, your ult will crit. That's why Berserker's Fury will stomp like out of control.
Definitely, and let me point out one thing by FMM here. He's 9-0-1. At what point are you like, hey, this guy's a little greedy. He's stealing all the kills, huh? You're not going to share?
Greedy.
No, but I mean, Sayla's 109. It was just completely on point. 91% kill participation with FMM. They've shared both of those guys. They were always in the fray at almost any point. Like you were not letting him just farm creeps. He was farming heroes.
Yep, exactly. And this was a very different style that Team Flash is used to playing, right? Like I said, the statistics that we were looking at, they like to play the split push game. But if you take a look at their kill participation in this game, over 75% for 4 of their major heroes. This means they were forced to fight the entire game. They could not pull off the strategy of split pushing and getting objectives done.
They had no space. But let's talk a little bit about the MVP. Your thoughts going into this one, Jace? Bleed Esports, who do you think who got the MVP?
My favorite marksman in MPL Singapore, of course, FMM, man. He's been popping off like crazy. He's super greedy. He's obviously, you know, damage dealt. Gold permitted 879. What you mentioned, he's farming heroes. He's reaping everyone and just putting their whatever they owed into his own pocket, and he's just snowballs out of control.
What a great game by Bleed Esports, especially for the tone setter. That first game also very important, and of course, like Jace, like you said, FMM is the MVP. 9-0-1, the 90% kill participation, just completely on a different level.
Yep, 879 GPM. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of gold for him per minute. And 90% kill participation, that's really insane. Like Jace, I mean, I know that you're making a point that, you know, FMM is the best gold laner whatsoever. Okay, point taken, but this is game 1. Right? Game 1 of a best of 5 series. It's a long series, guys.
It's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go. So, yeah, buckle your seatbelts. It's not over yet. It's just, you know, a hiccup in the start of a journey. You know, Flash is gonna come back.
He's just throwing shade at all both of us, man.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I want this competitive. I wanted this to go to a game 5. So we'll give you a couple of wins just so that we can get to that game 5. But at the end of the day, I want to hear you apologize after they lose.
But of course, we should be going to a mic check very, very soon, because I really want to hear, you know, what has changed in terms of, you know, overnight, right? Because don't forget, Bleed didn't really have a great game yesterday, but this time round, they're able to pop off. We'll take a look at the mic check, guys.
I you guys see how? I know that.
Depend on guys, come back.
Come back. Nice. I'm going top, Okay, nice.
Go.
Ulti. Cannot. No dash. Nice. I low.
Ever get pro? Oh, easy. Nice.
Hey, get pro. Hey, FM. Nice.
Go him.
Cancel.
Ulti.
I pro. Okay, nice.
Multi over.
Sure. I pro.
Nice one. Aaron.
And then Give me. FM.
That was that FMM. I mean, Bleed Esports, Gear had been picked off in the top lane.
Yes.
They were fighting that 4 versus 5, but FMM was just so fat that he could just take over the fight.
I think the biggest problem that Team Flash, looking back at this on hindsight, right? Maybe Team Flash has focused too much on Gear, right? Because the Benedetta is elusive enough to be able to hold the lane, and don't forget, you have a weaker lane on the gold, and Vanix is your insurance, and 1-1 on the other hand, once she starts popping off, this is what happens, a maniac in the very last fight. And, you know, I also played the 1-1 just now before starting the show.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so FMM is taking notes from you, is that what it is?
Channeling the inner FMM.
This thing, I have to highlight this. I really like this game 1 from Bleed, and I think it all started with Deck, to be honest.
Okay.
They couldn't stop Deck, and Deck was a monster. He did what they did to him yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. All right, but I think that there's a lot going on, especially for game 2. You're the Team Flash guy. If you're the coach, what do you tell them in this break?
It's very intense. We need to have some comfort. Yeah, it's very intense. We need to have some comfort picks.
Okay. We're going to find out. That one's going to be coming up. But first, let's give a shout out to our sponsor. Frank by OCBC is back with a new season of MLBB card designs for the Frank debit card. And for the first time ever, it will feature heroes with skins for Fanny, Gushin, Leslie, Cho, Esmeralda, and Florin. Sign up for a Frank X MLBB debit card at go.ocbc.com/MPLSG from now till 7th of May, 2023. On top of that, join Frank by OCBC's Coin Quest and spend with your Frank card. To earn coins and redeem prizes at OCBC, Wisma, Atria, or any Frank store, get 1 coin for every $10 spent, and you could possibly walk away with grand prizes like a Samsung Galaxy S23 256GB, OSIM U-Throne gaming chair, Scoot voucher, and various random MLBB in-game items like Lightborn and Saber skins. Please do sign up. Let them know they're going to be actually in the vicinity as well. But show those cards one last time. Are you taking them?
No, I think I'm going to show Team Team Flash has played the Cho and the Florin.
Yes, this is exactly how it's looking good, right? As game 1 is a fluke, right? It's just a simple one. 4 mistakes, don't worry, we have it. They will look as good as this later on.
Of course, going into game number 2, right? It's just exactly what I said. I think sometimes it's best to stick back to basics, right? Is master the basics going back. Oh, no pun intended right there. Master the basics going back there for from Bleed.
Yeah.
And then Team Flash on the other hand trying to pull a Todak in MPL Singapore, especially going to the lower bracket finals.
Yeah, and this is pretty much it. Don't get me wrong, it's just one match, right?
Yep.
I like the fact that on both sides, there was nothing, like, no one needed to be emotional, understanding that this is a long series. It's a marathon, not a sprint, so to speak.
Yep, exactly. Actually, when we listen to the comms, I find it very interesting that this time, Bleed is playing around FMM. Normally, it's JPL and Gear are the ones that they're making a call for the team fight. But the fact that they're focusing on FMM, I think that speaks a lot about what's going to happen today.
Okay, but they're focusing on FMM. Will they focus on FMM in the draft? Maybe you ban out some of his heroes. We're going to find out. The Game 2 draft has just started.
Yep, I mean, right off the bat, yes, let me answer your question.
Sir,
FMM
what's
is
your
a
command?
consideration
Your
for
team is
sure. It
banning.
will be the 1-1, a priority ban this time instead. And of course, respect still given to Deck. While Deck played the Fredrin in this game 1, I think Deck was a monster. Deck forced the rest of Team Flash to have to focus on Gear. They could not catch FMM, they could not catch Deck. So who's the next best target? It had to be Gear because Sailor was always all the way at the back.
Yeah, I think right here, right? I think Team Flash at least reacting to game number 1. Yesterday we saw RSG not reacting, not respecting the Kaja, not respecting the Fire Mist, right? Team Flash on the other hand, they're like, okay, I saw what you guys can do in game number 1. I'm gonna take the 1-1 away. I'm also not surprised if they go ahead and ban away the Fire Mist in this particular one. Bleed on the other hand depends on this particular
Time
ban.
to drop the
There's gonna be
beat
a
of the
choice.
flag.
You send the
Team
bans
is
for now, right?
banning.
But once again, going back to what they did in game number 1, focusing on bench's hero pool.
Yep, definitely. And I think now it's really a point. Does Team Flash now want to focus about building something better for Vanix? Or, do they want to allow another versatility pick? Maybe try a different composition this time and see what he does with it.
It all depends on the stack of papers that KCP is holding on, right? We've
Yes.
seen the books, we've seen a stack of papers, we've also seen a file from Bleed as well. But I think looking at, it's really early to say, especially how they're looking to ban, because as of now, it's still almost standard bans, but they're taking a long time to discuss what to ban and what to pick right here. That's going to be a Melissa getting banned away. Surprising enough, earlier just now, there wasn't a Melissa being picked or banned in game number 1 too.
Yep, and of course, I think they're now considering that, Melissa is a very good marksman.
Assassins.
And we know how big of a burst Melissa offers towards the end as well. And one of the things that Bleed likes to play is actually the Kufra. Like JP has been playing Kufra, he has been playing the Atlas as well. It would be good if they can pick something that will work against these two heroes itself.
All right, now with the banning phase conclude, that's going to be a glue taken away by Bleed. What's open? The Valentina, the Fire Mist, the Kaja that's really wide open.
I am
Team
the
Flash,
power of
select
light
the Kaja first
incarnate.
from Cram God.
Not sure if I agree. A single target, activated skill on the side of Team Flash, it really makes it very difficult for them to win team fights unless it is something that they initiate with.
You know what would be funny, Kin? Cram God went for the Kaja, JPL go for the Atlas instead. You can hook a single target and I could just come in with the Fatal Links to hook everybody.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I disagree a bit with this Kaja pick. I like Kaja as a hero, but he offers only single target, and that's not exactly the kind of style that I like.
Yeah, maybe because they want to go for this pick composition, right? We pick one person apart, drag him all the way in, and we kind of bash him in the toilet.
See value in me?
Like,
Your
like
team
say,
is
like, I
picking.
kind
You should.
of put in like my past memories into my cast, so I definitely felt that as well. But Fredrin will be selected by Deck once again. Deck, like what you mentioned, monster on his Fredrin. This is one of his combat pick, and he's getting leaked out again.
Yep, I'm very curious as to why they will allow this Fredrin in the first place. But of course, first pick Kaja is not a very bad thing as well. Now the flip side, Sailor getting his hands on this Valentina is going to be very valuable for them, because the IMU now it can steal number one, potential Feramis ulti. If we have a Feramis in this game, it could also steal the Divine Judgment as well.
Yeah, but we've seen this before, right? The Valentina being selected, and then all of a sudden you kind of sacrifice your long range, your high ground for up close and big bursty damage and flexibility. Is this
I am Priestess of Primal Lightning, the hunter of all the evil gods.
Edith and also Vanix's Beatrix going into the play.
Okay, while we say that we don't really have a lot of predictability
team
on Team
is
Flash,
banned.
we do see Edith being played by the Team Flash lineup quite a lot of times already this season. And it's mostly Team Flash that picks this Edith. For good reason as well. We have seen very beautiful Earth Shatters from Veg a couple of times. Even yesterday on the game against Evo, we know why they're so comfortable on this hero as well. Now, I think that's a perfect pair with the Beatrix. Still disagreeing with the Kaja for now. I mean, even Edith itself offers more catch towards the side of team fight, right? He can stun multiple people at one time.
I think Team Flash, right? I think what you mentioned
Hey,
right here
that
is just
team
going to
is
be follow up.
banning.
I pick someone over, I'm going to knock him up, and then after that, Jay can, sorry, not Jay, but Vanix can almost immediately burst whoever Crime got kidnapped because of Nibiru does a lot of burst damage. But on the other hand, Bleed is building this solid front. This is a very solid front line, and now they just need to find the perfect marksman to follow up. Would it be what would it be? Team Flash, I believe they're gonna lock down hard for FMM.
Yep, they probably would. This is
Come on, Dexter.
spicy
It's our
because
showtime.
JPL on this Lolita, like you said, they're building a wall, and this wall is pretty hard to penetrate. Now, maybe the Kaja makes a bit more sense. I would like to see a Divine Judgment onto a Lolita, get rid of that first layer of the wall. But here's the thing, Deck is no longer in need of protection. He is the protection himself. Redrin is
He's
a very
a
tanky
protector
boy.
himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here, I think JPL, going for the Lolita pick is actually a big counter towards the Edith and also towards the Beatrix, right? The shield will be able to shut down the Nibiru's passion and everything. And I'm not too sure whether the shield no, it's a suppression, right? So it doesn't really matter. It's the king of CCs that Flash has selected for themselves.
Yep, and now Flash gonna be left with the last
The
ban
southern
here,
seas
right?
are my
Khadija as well as
domain.
this Fasa definitely makes sense. They don't want a lot of burst. I mean, what's the point of picking a tank if someone can dive beyond your front lines and get straight to Sayla or FMM?
Yeah, like why go through a wall when you can dig under the wall,
Exactly.
right? This is basically what Bleed has said. Khadija, this is the biggest, one of the big counters, especially when Bleed wants to go for this protect comp. But now I still think about what is the best marksman that Bleed can pick up in order for this to work off. Immediately in my mind, a Brody, right? Something that could just has a huge long range, AoE damage, and also just, as long as you stay protected behind Deck and JPL, you're gonna do a lot of damage.
I've
but
been
Team Flash, on the
waiting
other
for too
hand,
long.
banning away the carry. This is one of the counters for Edith.
That's right, the tank shredder. We all know how painful Carry is. Carry does have a decent game against Claude as well in lane. That's why they also banned out the Claude, right? They don't want to offer options for FMM. Now we're just left with, example, we have a Moskov, right? Moskov is one of the possibilities as well. Also a shredder, but not as fast as compared to a carry.
I think Moskov is actually quite good, but in this particular matchup, it's a little bit off meta because of the nerf recently, because Moskov was popping up because of the holy trinity of items. But now, I think Bleed would not go and select the MM just yet. I think they need to secure the EXP laners. I'm looking at something that could counter against Edith, like something like a Lapu Lapu or down to the Benedetta, but no, they're going to go for Grok instead. This is more protection on top of the protection. Now, on top of the Lolita shield, I have an actual wall, and that's why they really don't want this Khadija to go
Yep,
through.
and this is a very painful
Wall.
pick to fight against, because Gear with the Guardian's Barrier very simply can just freeze the lane right off the bat, right? Once the minions start spawning in the base, they actually slow the minions down, allowing faster farm, right? And this forces Team Flash to play a bit slower. It forces their rotations to be even slower, and there's nothing they can do about it.
And the best part is, I think Grok, in a sense, soft counters the Edith as well, right? Like, Edith relies on just a very short range engage unless you use the flicker. You try to throw him over you, but Gear can go into the power of nature and then just like BCC immune, right? And then not only just that, the wall charge is going to be very good against Team Flash right here. There's going to be a Fireman being picked up. I think he knows that there's going to be a Fireman. That's why they selected the Valentina. And now, because you're sticking together, it's called Altar, Gear can just wall charge straight ahead. But don't forget, Bleed played against their own composition before. They know the weakness. Remember yesterday, Lucian QT with this Grok used the wall charge defensively. We need to see Bleed use this wall charge offensively.
Yep, and I mean, it could be a switch up. We never know. It could be. No, I don't think so. Lolita would not go into EXP lane,
No
but
way.
it's definitely going to be Gear with this Grok. Now, FMM is the last member left with this. And I think if we take a look at the EXP fight, Gear on this Grok against
Alchemy. The art
Vex,
of miracle.
Edith. Wait, this is what? Vanix going? No. Okay.
No way.
So Cram God, it's gonna be a roam Kaja. Okay, right.
Okay.
And a mid lane for Jay.
At least this time around, you can see Team Flash going back to basics. Bleed, on the other hand, they're very disciplined as a team. Team Flash, they're not gonna pull weird tricks out of the bag as well. This is just going back to normal. Let's just play one actual game and butt heads against Bleed.
Yep, this will be once again the battle of the roamers first. Who gives enough space for their marksmen on their side of the team? So, I'll throw it over to you. Welcome to Game 2.
Loser bracket finals, Game 2. Kindofu, you see the draft. Your thoughts going into this game, who has the edge?
It's gonna be Team Flash for me if they can get a nice couch outer again, which is pretty easy to be honest.
Got it. We're gonna find out if that last pick, Brody, can really pick things up, make sure that they're there. But again, I feel like that's a little bit of a timer. They're not really the late game style. But again, if we're talking a little bit about the heroes overall, Kaja is Cram God. Like, who's gonna pick off?
I mean, you kidnap FMM, right? You kidnap the Valentina if you can. These are your two prime targets that you can secure, or even secure Gear, right? Because right now, looking at how Gear, going for the Master Assassin emblem, he really wants to win the lane against Veg.
Okay, you're gonna have to see how it plays out. I mean, I think it's gonna be a little bit more neck and neck, to be honest. Draft-wise, I think Team Flash, at least to me, is a little bit more, I would say, easier to play. So it's got a lot of sustain, and it has a lot of pickoff. I mean, it has a lot of potential. So Team Flash, in that sense, have that edge.
Yeah, it's all about pickoff and busting someone down, and then after that, getting Yon to dunk, right? This Martis, it's similar playstyle in terms with the Tankerland slot and whatever Yon is used to, right? Being bloodthirsty, blood hungry, and start decimating one person after another. Now, Bleed, on the other hand, you mentioned about ease of using this, ease of access, or, well, easier to execute, right? Bleed, on the other hand, they've got big AoEs, and it's also decent and easy to play. So it's all about who gets the pick off first and how Bleed reacts to Flash's pick off.
Agreed. It really comes down to that initiation. As I say, that Deck is going to get initiated on, but he has the rest of his team just kind of backing each other up. Deck is going to walk away wounded, but he's going to be alive.
Yeah, and the best part is Yon, if you notice, using the Vulture Coils, right, he's able to just being CC immune. You saw how Bleed was tossing every single CC on top of Yon, and Yon just ignores everything, and he's the one doing CC against Bleed instead.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Gear here. You were talking about the fact that they needed a wall. They've got one in the sense of you have the Grok, which is basically the barrier, but how much of an impact does Gear need to have in this game?
A huge one, right? Like, I need to see the wall charge being used offensively now. Gear has already have level 4. Yon already at the turtle pit right here. Veg is looking for a flank. JPL will scout him out. For now, Crime God doesn't have level 4, so that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay, he just hits it.
Yeah, he's gonna hit it. He's gonna be knocked aside. Veg is gonna, kind of just stick around. But this turtle's the important one. Oh, they've got the Divine Judgment. They're gonna use it right onto Dex, but that's the taking one. Nice 3-man stun. The onward throws him back, and Veg is on point. Yon is taking the turtle, and it looks like this is gonna be all Team Flash. 2 kills plus the turtle.
Dunk. That's exactly what Team Flash wants, right? I pick up one person. Deck was thinking that he's tanky enough to absorb the suppression, but he got busted down because don't forget, Veg is not just a tank that does damage. It's broken, by the way. It's really broken, and that's why Team Flash was able to burst down Deck.
Yes, and Veg was on point. That Earth Shatter, the 3-man stun, so much control. That's exactly how you want to initiate, you want to start a team fight. And now Team Flash in the driver's seat. Yes, they have a slight advantage of only 1,800 gold, but this is a great bounce back from Team Flash.
Yep, the pseudo MM, right? Veg is really working out, right? This just shredding Bleed's draft right here. Even though Gear has a wonderful setup, but JPL, I believe the Luminum Blast wasn't really committed because it was cancelled by Veg.
Ah, cancelled. Unfortunate for them. I mean, it would have been the nice little setup, and that would have what they needed for that team fight. Because again, JPL's got to be on point. Divine Judgment pulls back Deck. Again, I don't know if I agree with that one, but the nice 3-man stun. He's going to be pushed back. The Ashura Aura is going to be a little off the mark, but the nice Numinum Blast into the Flicker. That's going to be on point, but nobody's died yet. Sayla trying to draw a beat. Veg getting very low. He's going to limp back to safety.
JPL, the Luminum Blast coming in clutch, saving Bleed or Bleed's draft. If you know, Yon could just dunk every single one because especially Bleed is super low right here. Here, this is exactly what we need to see from a Grok. Offensive kind of wild charge, and it works, right? But unfortunately, Bleed doesn't really have enough damage to kill off Flash.
Yes, not enough damage yet. It's still very early, but of course we're seeing a little bit of the change that Team Flash has done, right? They forced things a little bit, made Deck play a little bit more defensive. Remember last game, game 1, where Bleed Esports had kind of taken over the enemy jungle. They were kind of walking around wherever they wanted to be, and it was just a very different game.
Yep, looking at just the emblems, right? Venge going for the tenacity, nothing to scoff at. The Sailor going for the mystery shop. He really wants to get all.
That did some damage. FMM, he's going to be back, but he's fine for now. This turtle's going to be super important in terms of setup.
Yep. Sailor does stow the Cult Altar away. He can use it almost immediately. Yon, on the other hand, decides to ignore that turtle for now. Crime God needs to find Deck right here. It seems like he has... he's targeting Deck with all this ultimate, trying to kidnap him, bursting down. He knows he has enough damage, but on the other hand, I think Vanix is not ready yet. That's why Team Flash would not pull that trigger. They're going to give Bleed that turtle.
Understanding that Bleed were behind, they focused it, made sure that there were 4 members, ensuring that they got the turtle. They pushed back everybody from Team Flash, ensure that they got it. That second turtle being very important. You definitely don't want to snowball here. Veg throws back Gear, but that's going to be pretty much the end of that.
Right here is just, you know, Gear not having a lot of priority, and that's kind of surprising. But hold on a second, bottom lane!
Bottom lane, they're going to be going on. Gear's getting pulled back in. Oh, the nice call, Charles. They're keeping him alive. That was the stolen one. They're going to look to turn this around with the reverse one. Gear has now been picked off, and it looks like Team Flash said, hey, we got this.
Martis is basically what Yon needs, right? I was already theory crafting before he pulled out the tank slot. Martis fits his playstyle, bloodthirsty, looking for the assassination, and he is gonna snowball out of control. That's 3 kills over to the side of Yon. He's gonna do a lot of damage, and Bleed will lose the first turret down bottom.
That's actually huge. Very different game. A very good bounce back game by Team Flash, prioritizing the laning phase, ensuring that they're in the lead. Again, 6 minutes, but a 3K net worth lead. That is actually quite sizable at this stage.
Yeah, Flash did what they need to do, right? The execution based on the drop is there. The keys of victory is just get Cramgod to pick one person, bust him down, and if we can continue to fight, Team Flash will continue. Don't forget, Yon snowballs like the mad lad on this Martis.
Yeah, I mean, but it helps when you're 3-0-0, right? Like, I mean, what better way to have an easier game than to get all these kills? And now JPL on the run. They're going to back off here.
Yeah, too much. Bleed may have lost a little bit too much. Right here, don't forget, they don't really have this late game insurance. FMM should be winning against Vanix, but Vanix is playing it super safe. It's making it very hard for FMM to pull that trigger, but now it's going to be Jaden's drag.
Oh, the Bennett's Rays just doing work, and FMM has already been picked off, and it looks like they've prioritized the marksman, make sure that he's going to have a rough game and a tough situation for FMM to be in.
Yeah, Team Flash is just playing pass right here, right? Like, Jay can come in with the drag, and then after that, you can follow up with Cramgod drag at the same time. Vash is having a little bit of damage right here. Gear doesn't really have any peel at all. JPL just absorbing so much damage, and this is the problem. Veg is a pseudo marksman, and Team Flash does have a lot of damage in their kit.
Yeah, they're like Bash Brothers. They got a lot of control. They don't really have the damage. I mean, it was like they had, you know, everybody locked in, but now Yon, 1 versus 4, this does need to be careful. Obviously, you know, Cramgod is in the vicinity here. Veg is going to make an appearance. Who makes the first move? The Turtles at half-life.
Yeah, Bleed doesn't really have enough damage. I think they need to respect. Team Flash, on the other hand, they can burst everybody down. Vanix actually charging up already here. It's going to be a 5v5 around the Lord Pit, but Yon is already half HP. He's just baiting Bleed over to this fight. You know that Bleed wants it, and Yon is gladly accepting this fight. They have the edge, and Cramgod...
Oh, they were going to go... I mean, they used Conceal. Cramgod is looking for that right pickoff, but it looks like Yon has already got the turtle. That's going to be a massive win. Now they've got the Divine Judgment. Pulls back Gear, says, where are you going? The Assure Aura, that's going to be connecting on point. The Earth Shatter, that's going to be used. The Cult Altar now is going to be spent as well. Sayla trying to draw a beat. Deck getting low. He's been bursted. Vanix has killed him. Team Flash has pulled out a victory with 2 versus 1.
This is not a very fair trade for Bleed. It all started because Gear used the wild charge a little bit too far, and then all of a sudden Bleed doesn't really have the front line anymore. Vanix, I think they're looking for a fight right now.
Oh, they want to fight, but Cramgod is taking most of it. He says, come on, buddy, let's go. You can't do much on me. Jay, he's not scared. He's going to just go back in. They're going to now slow down the game a little bit. Focus on that mid T1.
Gear using this wall charge. I know Gear needs to use the wall charge offensively, but I think he overextended just a little bit. He forgot to protect the backline. And Bleed, when he tried to follow up, is a little bit slow because Team Bleed has already used up so much resources earlier. Looking at the items right here, that's a very damage-driven proc. But that's also the issue, right? Even if you went for this damage build, for this Grok, Team Flash can skill burst you down immediately because you have a Beatrix that will shred. With a Malefic Roar right here, it's gonna do a lot of damage against him.
Could do a lot of damage, and that's gonna be the thing. I mean, if we're looking at what's happening, Vanix is level 11, Yawn is level 11, FMM is the only one on Bleed Esports that's a level 11. So there's, you know, not only a gold differential, but there's a level differential, and that kind of adds up. Like, you're definitely not as strong. Bleed haven't been able to find that right pickoff. They've only got 1 kill. Now they're trying to make something happen, the energy eruption, but they kind of back off, and now Yawn has joined the fight and says, okay, 1 versus 5, let's go.
That's a wall charge already being baited away by Team Flash, right? Especially now, it's going to be Team Flash on this concealed play. I think this is something that can punish Gear for being so aggressive with this wall charge, and now it's time for Team Flash to penetrate the mid lane.
Penetrate, they will. They'll take it down, and no, they're going to back off at the last second. The Numinative Blast was there, yes, and they're like, hey, is it the zoning one? Well, they'll take it, but they do survive. The T1 mid still up. Right now, of course, that's very important in terms of an objective, a strategic point, but now Bleed, they need to figure something out.
Yeah, Bleed is doing that, right? While Team Flash is focusing up top, they're going to be focusing in the bottom lane instead. It's going to be a trade. Any structural damage that Bleed can do is wonderful, but Bleed is on this timer. Get on this main game. Power fight is not there.
The nice wild charge, but that's on the Vanix. He's going to back off. He's been pulled back in terms of gear. He's got no chance. Now JPL on the run. The Venice Rage doing some work, but Cramgod has been picked off. Deck now getting very low. He's going to be first, and Yawn will secure that one. Yawn is just trying to draw bees on everybody. JPL has the shields up, but is he able to survive? He's going to be fine. Veg takes down the tower.
He takes down the tower, and not only that, Flash has taken down two members already, and they're sending the Lord all the way down bottom. Now Bleed, on the other hand, they lost too much. This is their power, the mid-game power spike. It's not exactly showing. Looking at the player go, Vanix is farming out of control. FMM slowly following suit because of the split pushes, but Bleed has lost way too much. Don't forget, they used so many resources just to try to zone out Team Flash earlier just now.
Yeah, Vanix right now is just all about the bling. He's got the #1 in terms of gold. He's been doing a lot of damage. I mean, you just need to stay alive as a marksman, right? If you're 3-0-2, you're making sure that you're staying alive. You're getting those pickoffs. Lord is going to be pushing into the bottom T3. It's provided a little bit of damage, but if anything, they've kind of, basically, they're looking to suffocate Bleed.
Suffocating Bleed, and they're doing exactly that, right? Bleed has no choice but to use FMM to start to split push. The Brody can melt through turrets like butter, and that's what Bleed has, only going forward towards the 12-minute mark. Don't forget, Team Flash does have the late game.
The Divine Judgment pulls back here one more time. He's been called after. He's been kidnapped. I mean, he sees the white van. He sees the candy, and he gets in every single time.
Yeah, Gear is just gullible child prodigy that we always know and love, and now he's getting punished extremely bad by Team Flash. Team Flash knows exactly Gear is this hot-headed person that really wants to fight. He thought that he's able to tank it through, but he misunderstands that Team Flash does have way too much burst damage.
Oh, Veg is on that flank, but provides enough cover so that they do get that T2. Very well played by Team Flash. They've disengaged, they look to regroup, and then go back at it with this 9-2 lead.
Yeah, but now Bleed back against the wall. Only tier 3 turrets right here. Team Flash, on the other hand, they have all the structures healthy. And it's only because FMM has been split pushing all the way at the bottom side, and that's why Bleed does have a little bit of space, but not a lot to navigate during the late game. During the late game, Team Flash does have the edge. Just take a look at Yawn. He's snowballing. He's an avalanche right here.
Yeah, it's definitely avalanching. Like, it's becoming a nuisance. They're having a tough time just trying to find anybody. Oh, but here's the conceal. Do they get this? Do they find any pickoff? They have the spider sense. They back off. They sense everything here.
I don't know. Gear's just biting on the candy once again.
Wild charge right into Yawn, but they have the nice energy eruption. The Venice Rage is going to be on point, but the Venice Rage was on point and connected on the 5 deck. It's been pulled out. It looks like they're going to go for more. Salen's down on the count as well, and this is going to be Team Flash. Veg is turning it around. FMM has been killed as well, and Team Flash undefeated, completely wipe out Bleed.
Team Flash completely completely wiped out Bleed right here. It was once again Gear biting on the candy, and Team Flash will go in and penetrate the mid lane right here. They're looking at the core right here. Nobody but the team from Bleed is alive, and they will end.
End the game, they will. 13 minutes, 14-2. Could that not have been a more perfect game by Team Flash? Understanding the limits, winning those team fights, getting themselves into a situation where, I mean, Bleed Esports had no room to breathe.
Bleed needs to chill. Gear needs to chill. He's overextended way too much, and he's just basically biting on every single candy, every bait that Team Flash threw at them, and they just Team Flash just literally tears them apart. Kin, you're mentioning that you don't like this Kaja pick? I don't know whose side you're on right here.
Yes, that's the
You're
plan,
pretty
right?
sus.
Yep, I'm pretty sus. But you know what? Team Flash fans are going to be very happy regardless whether I'm sus or not. That was a beautiful game by Team Flash, right? Exactly. And of course, now, there's a reason why they are called professional players. It's because they can see things that I can't.
They can do things that we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
They can see things that we can't.
So this Kaja pick really destroyed the backlines of the side of Team Bleed. And I think Sailor, it was a bit difficult. Okay, you know what? It's not a bit. It was very difficult for Sailor because he could not get off the timing that he needed. He had the Cult Altar, but he always had to pop it prematurely.
Had no chance. I mean, it comes back to fairness for me, right? Any team that picks it up, I just feel like you have a huge edge. Every single team fight is in your favor. You have to work around it. It's so difficult to deal with.
And if you notice how Team Flash, they know that they do have this edge. They have this fairness. They can have this pick potential, right? And don't forget, this is an Edith, right? This is a pseudo marksman that can shred. They can also provide burst damage. So I think what Bleed is they got blindsided by this Edith. Yeah, you expect it's an EXP lane, it's a tank EXP lane. He's not going to be able to do any damage, right? But no, he did a lot of damage in the early game. They don't really need to involve Vanix at all. It's just this 4 people from Team Flash just rotating around the map. Vanix just farming out of control. He's just doing whatever he needs to do.
When the items come up, I want to point something up to you. I am kind of disagreeing with the style that Gear went with his Grok. He went full damage. You know, with the Master Assassin as well. And I think he was kind of forced in that position because, like you said, it's going up against an Edith who has damage, who has tank ability as well. And I think Gear tried to put himself in a situation where, you know what, let me just out-damage you and maybe I can try to catch the backline with my wild charts as well. But it's really difficult to execute.
Exactly, this is really it's really tough, right? Remember, Gear wanted to win the lane, and that's why Team Flash sent 3 members all the way to focus around the top side, or focus around the EXP. And once Bleed lost the EXP lane, they lost their turtle priority.
Yeah, they were on the back foot almost from minute 1. I mean, I thought they came back with that second turtle, but Bleed Esports were not able to find any kills. They were getting picked off left and right. And I mean, let's talk a little bit about Cram God on the Kaja. Completely on point.
Yep. Cram God, definitely someone I want to talk about. He had fleeting time at 12.5 minutes. If you felt that there was a comeback timer for the side of Team Bleed, let me tell you there was definitely not, because fleeting time was bought by Cram God at 12 minutes 30 seconds. If the game had continued longer, his ultimate would have been on an even shorter cooldown. He would have done so much more damage.
He's already doing a lot, right?
Yes,
even
he is.
before the fleeting time, and that's the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, definitely. No chance there, but I mean, Bleed Esports, okay, stats look pretty good with, I mean, 100% kill participation, but you only got 2 kills. That's the killer.
It's like literally that time when I told my mom, I got 2nd place in a 3-man competition.
Actually, that's not that bad. I thought you were going to say out of a 2-man competition.
It's actually real. This is a real life story, by the way.
I mean, you still got 2nd place. I mean,
I still have the trophy at home.
Awesome, awesome. As we go into that, I mean, unfortunately, Bleed Esports not able to find that, but let's talk a little bit about the MVP. Kin, your thoughts? Who deserved it from Team Flash?
The one that confused me at the start, Cram God. You know, this Kaja was absolute a total menace. He caused a lot of destruction for the side of Bleed simply because he caught Sailor out and over again. And not just Sailor, Gear as well. No damage for you boys.
I feel like it's very crazy that Cram God decides to kidnap a rock, and they have enough damage to burst down this rock, right? And there you go. It's unfortunate it's going to be Edith.
It's okay. I don't mind being wrong.
Okay.
But Edith, for good reason as well, tenacity, he made the game extremely difficult. He won the game simply because he forced Gear into a very awkward position.
Okay, you don't mind being wrong. I think that's going to be funny. We're going to clip that one when it gets to Game 5, when Bleed Esports win out and beat Team Flash. We'll find out that's coming up.
It's okay because, like I said, you guys are on the right, but you may not be right. And based on what happened in Game 2, I'm pretty confident I have the best call today, at least for today.
Okay, but right now, guys, it's a 1-1. No pun intended right here, right? It's a 1-1. And Bleed, man, they're already starting to show cracks. Yesterday, they're going to even show cracks today, especially on a very crucial day for them. But because they're fighting for tournament life, they are one of the 2 titans of MPL Singapore. We talked about them every day. And don't forget, 5 seasons, almost, not 5, but 4 seasons in a row, you get to see these 2 teams butt head against RSG and Bleed, right? But now this time around, Team Flash, they're stepping up. They're looking to be the top 2.
Definitely looking to be great. And we're going to see a little bit more of them, but let's go into the mic check. Let's talk a little bit about the highlights of this one. I'm going to be super excited because I think the comms are going to be very, very happy.
Yep, exactly. Let's take a look at the happy dance. I want to see Cramcrowd dancing because he should be doing that exactly, the exact motion because he was godlike in this game.
No, not like this. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this.
These people die, bang. Bang. Hey, there. Can they ulti? You can fight. You can fight. War. Nice. This guy, I think. Nice. Gerak.
Guys, go me.
Hey, war. Fredrin.
Hey! Hey guys, go me.
Apa ni?
Hey, got you. Hey, go flicker. Help me guys.
Aipul gerak. Gerak Aipul lah.
Killing them guys.
Hey, no dash. Go. Brody no war. Chill.
No, Virgin low.
Nice, chill. Sila. They wanna fight.
Hey, the Virgin low.
They wanna fight.
Go.
Lolita setting.
Hey, let's go.
We good. Brody low. Nice. We good. Mid. Happy. Next. Again. Happy. Nice guys. Reset.
Story of Team Flash.
He is making me very happy as well. Okay, guys, reset. Yes, I have heard you. Let's reset as well. We are going into a game, the 3rd game. And based on the way it's looking so far, right? I'm very confident that I should be sitting on the right this time, so that I can be right as well.
Okay, but we're going to find out. I mean, we still have many more games. I mean, Game 3 is going to be coming up. It's going to be, more hype. And are we going to see a happy Team Flash? Or are we going to see Bleed Esports bounce back going into that 3rd game?
He's shell-shocked right now, right? Because that's not the kind of contact he wants to hear. But of course, I think it was a short message for our viewers online as well, Mr. Haller.
I'm just shell-shocked right here. Happy, I cannot. I can't do it. I hear that in my head right now, and it's not healthy.
Yeah, obviously. I think that there's going to be a lot of different ways that we can kind of go in. I mean, there's so many different ways. But let's talk a little bit about the Atomic Pop Mia bundle.
I got that one.
All-star themed skin Mia Atomic Pop Mia is available now with Custom Action Bundle. You can enjoy 30% off from April 5th to April 25th. Besides, All-Star promo diamonds can be used for discounts. The skin and bundle will be available in shop until May 28th, so please do purchase that quickly. And of course, hashtag Mobile Legends Bang Bang, hashtag MLBB New Skin, hashtag All-Star, hashtag Be the Superstar, and hashtag 0422 All-Star Rave. So please do make sure that you get your own bundle.
Yep, of course, there's plenty of new skins, and I mean, okay, this is just my personal opinion. I love this new Moonlit Ninja skin by Hanabi. I mean, Moonton, whoever did that ad for you, oh my god, that was so sick. It literally makes me want to buy the skin like now.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, but of course, if you guys watch YouTube a lot of times, I think you need like 3,000 diamonds for
like
the 4 rolls, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to this one YouTuber that I always watch for this quick Elgin as well from PH. He likes to do all this. He's basically my TLDR, right? So thank you very much for providing that TLDR. Yes, you need 3,000 diamonds for that. So Kin, will you be spending that 3,000 diamonds?
You know what? It's not about the money. It's whether I can perform well on Hanabi in the first place. I mean, I can spend the money, but I want to be able to show it off as well. You know, it doesn't look good if you lose with the skin.
All right, well, we'll find out who ends up losing, who's going to have the best skins. That's going to be coming up. But we're going to take a quick break, a 5-minute break, and we'll be back with Game 3. 5. We're here now. That was the second game of the first match. This is the lower bracket finals. My name is Holler. With me is Jason Kindo Fu. And of course, what was your assessment after that nail biter, that back and forth of game 2?
Happy, happy, happy?
Yeah, they might actually do it. I mean, that is
You mean they might do a happy, happy, happy again?
Oh, they'll definitely do that, but I think they might be able to take the series as long as they continue playing as they have. But of course, I think they need some help from both teams. Both teams,
yeah.
Right? We need to hear from their fans as well.
Which fan are we going to be? I think they're both kind of quiet on each side. I haven't really seen which ones have kind of like stuck out to me. Is it going to be the Bleed Esports fans? Are you guys there? Okay. They have the flag. They have a little bit of celebration, and we're going to see that now. But okay, let's talk about the Team Flash side. Are you guys there?
Well, they're going to silence the Flash fans, though.
All right, it looks like, the fans right now, this is, of course, Suntech City. It's Atrium Tower 1 and 2. And it looks like we've got nothing but Bleed Esports fans here.
But of course, on the Facebook predictions and YouTube predictions, they are actually Team Flash fans. But of course, Team Flash must be gaining a lot of fans right here, taking one game away from Bleed, and that's a big statement that Flash is giving over to Bleed. But on the other hand, Bleed right now, hopefully that break actually helped, because they really need to relook at the drawing board. They've already showed signs of crack, and it's starting to widen just a little bit. They need to find duct tape or anything, blue tack or whatever, just to stem it.
Yep, the cornerstone is crumbling a little bit here, and when I say cornerstone, I'm referring to deck. Like I said, deck is a very big win condition for Team Bleed, right? If deck pops off, Bleed essentially becomes a gigantic monster that most teams can't handle, and even RSG couldn't handle him during the regular season last game, right? So I think they need to get deck to reset, maybe work together to give him a bit more mental composure as well.
All right, we're going into game 3. I mean, it's 1-1. It's pretty much a best of 3 at this point. But, there's things that they could do better. Of course, every team is like that, especially at this stage. But, you pointed out Deck, and I understand that, he's a ride or die, right? If they have a great game, they're going to have an amazing time. But sometimes I feel like maybe you're putting a little too much pressure onto Deck.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we are, but I mean, that's the jungler, right? A jungler that dictates every single engages. You're in charge of ganking, you're in charge of securing main objectives, so that's why we place a lot of emphasis on the jungler, because they're the one that dictates the game as well. But of course, you also have to mention EXP laners as well, because the first turtle is the one that gives you on a right foot. You will get snowball out of control. It's a point of contest. So if you notice, for game number 2, it was Veg that gained the EXP lane priority. Team Flash identifies it. That's why they play towards their EXP lane.
Yep, exactly. The pacing is super important, and I think previous game in game 2, it really was Vex who actually set the pace for the start of Team Flash. And with Gear being just a tad bit slower in terms of rotation and the offerings in terms of his wild charge prematurely being used, it did prove to be detrimental to their gameplay so far. So right now, I think we need to take a look at when we hit into the drafting phase. Now, what is Gear going to get for himself to be able to withstand the speed, right, and the tenacity of Vex itself?
Okay, but was game 2 more of a drafting error, or was it more about the strategy and the skill of Team Flash really shining?
I think it's an execution error, right? Don't forget, it is Bleed that need to gain a mid-game priority. They're unable to do so because in the early stages of the game, Gear was shut down a lot. And don't forget, FMM was supposed to try to at least win the lane against Vanix, but Vanix on this V-Trix can switch it up into a Renner shot, into the Renner or even the Bandits as well, and then just basically keep FMM at bay.
Yeah, just a very good game. I mean, we expect to see more of that. I mean, going into this one, this is, of course, game 3. That's going to be coming up. But, there's still so much at play that I think that we have many more, different ways that we're going to go in. But let's give a quick shout out to, of course, OSIM, one of our sponsors. We all know that the gaming can get intense, and OSIM has your back, right? The U-Throne V-Gaming massage chair is built to energize and reinvigorate your mind and body, level up your performance with its patented B-hand massage technology and ergonomic features designed with the player's comfort in mind.
Yep.
Game and comfort and style with the U-Throne V Transformers Edition designs. And remember, OSIM is here to provide support for your well-being, even if no one else is supporting your character in-game. I feel like, that was very personal to me with all of my pubs that nobody helps me out.
Hey, that's why you can ask us for a game, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're waiting for you.
Showed up
You
in
never,
the games.
whenever I want to play, you guys are never on. Okay?
No.
I don't know if
okay.
it's personal, if you're like, oh, I just want to play with you.
No, but okay, guys, let me just tell you this. If you guys are in the venue as well and you want to experience the awesome U-Throne chair being used to a great fullest extent, because you gotta have to plug in, it's actually massages as well, right? Guys can check it out at one of our booths just at the entrance of MPL Singapore.
Yep, they're here. You can actually try it out, and they're right in front of it. You definitely won't miss it.
You wouldn't miss it.
Unless you don't recognize who Bumblebee and Optimus Prime are, I think it's pretty hard to miss what the OSIM
That's shots fired. That's shots fired on some people.
It's a bright yellow chair, right? You would never miss it. And of course, the yellow chair is the one that we kind of like. That's why I think we sat on it for like 2 seasons in a row as well. So thank you very much, OSIM, for actually providing that back support.
But are you team Optimus Prime or Bumblebee just at the end of the day?
I don't watch Transformers.
Don't watch Transformers.
I don't.
Oh, he said that last season as well.
I told you I don't have a childhood.
I know, but you just gotta be like, you gotta...
Okay, the Bumblebee design looks better.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you, Kid?
Sorry, my favorite design does not exist yet. I like Decepticons more, so...
Yeah, he's pretty sus, right? He's on Team Flash, but both of us are Bleed. But
yeah,
of course,
always the villain. I get it,
That's right. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the drafting phase. This is game number 3 as well. All stakes are high. Bleed needs to gain the momentum, because once they give it away, they will usually lose it, and it's really hard. Team Flash, on the other hand, they've basically got the mind tricks in Bleed's heads, and Bleed need to check it off.
Yep, exactly. And I want to take something to your attention, right? Game 2, if you take a look at the kill participation on the stats page lastly, this time, Game 2, Flash was the aggressor, and they were fighting all over the place. They had much higher kill participation, and they were forcing Bleed, right? Game 1, Bleed was all over them, and they said, you know what, you want to fight? Sure. Game 2, let's bring the fight to you. And they made them fight the entire game. So now as we hit the 3rd match itself, let's see, does Team Flash want to continue this aggression, get them to fight head on as well, or will they go back into their objective gaming style again?
I told you I kind of gave up on analyzing Team Flash, because you thought they would be pulling out weird tricks again, and then all of a sudden in game number 2 they went back to normal, and they used that normal
Time to drop the beat of the
went up
Flash
against Bleed, and they kind of win. Right here, Team Flash will ban away the Joys. 2 standard bans for now, nothing out of the ordinary. Bleed also decides to ban the Kaja as well, because they leaked it out in game number 2, but they didn't pick it for themselves.
Yep, so this is a difficult situation for Bleed, right? You always offer Flash certain options, and Flash, they're happy to take it. They're so versatile. They don't mind if this Kaja is banned. Let me be clear, right? The fact that this Kaja is banned is perfect in their eyes. It's like, sure, you have banned out. Now you're afraid of one of the options we can take. You know what? Let me show you my 2nd option, 3rd option, and let's see how you deal with that. And it's a learning journey for Bleed. But can they adapt fast enough? Champions are made of their adaptability, and Bleed has to pass this test.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Like, it's not easy to adapt on the fly, especially when Bleed known to be very disciplined. They probably played a lot of screens that we're using this kind of draft, right? But now going up against Team Flash, going up against unpredictability. And the worst part is they are so unpredictable, they went back to being predictable, because you don't expect them to be unpredictable, because they went back into the same exact normal draft that we usually see.
Yep, reverse psychology 101. This is Team Flash, and of course, going with the happy.
No,
let's
please
take a look at what Bleed is going to pick on their first pick. They are going to be first pick for Game 3 here, and I think definitely the person they should focus on, once again, should be Gear. Gear needs to win this EXP laning phase.
Paramis is wide open. The Valentina is not banned away. Bleed may go back into that particular draft, but maybe they could also switch it up a bit, because don't forget they selected the Eve in game number 3 yesterday. They kind of don't want to go back and tap to that one, so that's why they're going to first pick that Paramis Flash. I believe they know about this, because if Bleed didn't ban the Valentina, they will first pick the Paramis
Yep, and of course, Bleed going back on the Faramis. And Faramis is a very good pick because Faramis has great synergy with anyone that you pick, honestly, because it's all boiling down to that Cult's Outer, that perfect save. But once again, we have already seen
I am the
how
priestess of
Flash was
primal
positioning
lightning, the
himself
hunter of all the evil
Sayla,
gods.
and this could be a different challenge for them on the side of Team Bleed.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Melissa and Edith. These will spread damage all across the board. And don't forget, Edith, a pseudo-marksman that has bouncing damage. And now with Bleed going with the Faramis once again, this is the Cult Altar. This is AoE damage given over to the side of Bleed, and Bleed is forced to swallow it down their throats. Now, they need to try to find a way to basically deny this Melissa, find the Melissa, just shut them down very quickly. Usually what people would do is to drop the Clot right now, because if not, Team Flash will ban it away.
Yep, and you know, talking about this FMM position, what works well against a Melissa early game? That's the most important part, right? But it's only one part of the problem. They need to address the late game. And of course, like you mentioned, Claw, he can match toe-to-toe in terms of damage against this Melissa pick as well. And they're going to pair it up. Now, we shift our focus over to Gear. Jace, you mentioned that Gear needs to win his EXP lane just now.
Yep.
Is Lapu Lapu the best character to do it with?
I would say yes, because Lapu Lapu in the early game kind of acts like a range EXP lane, right? You can, as long as you play safe underneath the turret, you can basically just last hit the minions from afar. And also another thing, you do have a slight CC immunity going in against Edith, as long as you don't
for the return
push your
awesomeness.
chances a bit too far. And don't forget, this Lapu Lapu pick is also strong against a Melissa, because your sword actually, the stunning sword actually can reach a Melissa even though it's in her bubble.
Yep, and I like this J pick for his team, which is going to be the Archive. The Archive offers so much flexibility as well.
And it's also a flex pick, right? Krabgod can pick up the Archive. We're seeing Yon pick up the Archive as well as a jungle tank, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Adaptability. Team Flash has adapted really, really well, like a chameleon, not a comedian.
Yes, exactly. Like a chameleon here. And of course, with that being said, I just want to give a quick shout out to Yon. I'm so impressed with his growth. You know, in the regular season, we all thought, oh, he's just going to be an assassin jungler. He's not going to do well in the playoffs. And here we are, this young boy, 16 years old. Can you believe it? 16 years old?
Yes.
And he is now one of the top players in MPL.
Yeah, and it's amazing, right? How with training and with that grind and with the passion, don't forget, you heard him in the mic checks, right? It's like he will yell and scream and basically hype up himself and the rest of his team in order after he gets a kill, especially on matches when he starts to snowball. And this is the mark of passion, right? And it's really exactly what we want to see in Season 5, where new talents are born. And we're also excited because this Team Flash looks really on point after being marked as a joke during the regular season. I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
And of course now Yon, he is a young boy, so he's very creative. And Archive fits that description of being creative. There's so many angles he can use his headbutt to enter the fight and use either his heavy spin to be a defensive maneuver or offensive one to lock down any of the members on the side of Team Bleed.
Still wide open for the side of Team Flash. Don't forget, if they really want to switch it up, Veg can basically give out the Edith into a roam position as well. So Bleed is still a little bit concerned. If you notice, they're banning away the Valentina, they're banning away the Franco for now. Team Flash, on the other hand, I think a Farsa will be actually quite good because, you know, with the Farsa, it's AoE damage as well, and you can basically just feather airstrike and strike as many targets as possible, and it kind of pairs well against Jay or basically whoever's going to be controlling the Archive with a heavy spin.
Yep, I mean, Farsa definitely makes sense. Level 12, you kind of have a no cooldown, almost no cooldown in your ultimate, and that's like you can take fights anytime, and that fits the build of Team Flash, right? They can transition. Like, okay, if we want to go objective gaming, we play a bit more passive. But if Bleed wants to fight us head on, sure, we can do it as well. But Diggy is going to be their choice. Good. And I like it because it cancels out that Shadow Stampede as well. It does save Vex if he ever gets caught out, as well as Vanix, if Gear chooses to jump in with the Bravest Warrior as well.
Yeah, and remember what I mentioned, right? Like the fact that the Lapu Lapu, the sword, the stunning sword actually penetrates through the bubble. You need an additional layer of CC immunity so that the Melissa can pop off. The Diggy actually serves that role, and not only just that, you also provide shields all across the board. So it allows survivability for Vanix. It provides survivability for Vanix, for Veg as well.
And to add on to that, you know, if that really happens, it would mean that Gear has overextended and now sees himself in the middle of Team Flash
Everybody,
itself.
correct. So it's, once again, here's they're
Fight
basically
for
just
the
making...
ultimate
Hold on a second. Okay,
Wow.
let's talk about that just a little bit.
Introducing the
Gear, don't
Royal
forget, game number 2, he
Matador.
overextends a little bit more. Remember, like, what Hollow like to say, bait him with candy, he will jump into you because he's over-aggressive, right? But then again, he's going to get punished very easily, especially with this Diggy pick. Now, Bleed go back into a slightly different draft. This time around, it's going to be a tank slot for Deck and Hilda on the other side. They're expecting Team Flash to go in for Assassin pick?
No, I'm just thinking that Bleed is like, let's go, let's bring the fight to Flash. I think they are very salty about Game 2, the fact that they lost in a fighting composition. So it's like, let's take the Hilda, let's run you down.
Yeah, they want to take the happy out of Crime God's face, right? Because he's just taunting and this is so annoying, but at the same time, it is that emotional damage that you did that you will try to deal against Bleed. And there you go, the Farsa that I mentioned, that looks really good, especially in Team Flash's side of the draw.
And it's going to be in the hands of Jay as well. I'm waiting for that level 12 mega power spike, but Farsa, as we already know, level 2, level 4, massive amounts of damage offered for the side of Team Flash as well. So as we head into this, I mean, okay, you've been hearing my side of the story. Holler, what do you think about this draft so far?
Actually, I'm kind of mixed on this one. I think that this is a very well-drafted lineup on both ends. You have a lot of potential. You have a lot of control, sustain. I mean, it's a very evenly matched one, but of course, I'm going to give the edge, of course, to Bleed Esports because they have the Faramis pick. I just feel like that hero is just very powerful.
Yes, that hero is powerful, but in the face of the Farsa, you get shredded all throughout, and all of a sudden that cult altar, when you're invulnerable, you're technically stunned. So which means you are able to you know, get repositioned upon. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is all about execution right here. It is up to Bleed to show that they have what it takes to maintain their brand in top 2 for MPL Singapore.
Well, this is going to be a super important game for Bleed Esports. Being able to bounce back speaks volumes about your team. Are you able to kind of take that punch and keep going, or is it more of a, I'm taking punches, I can't do anything else?
Yeah, and it's tough, right? It's a lot of pressure on these, a lot of high expectations being placed on Bleed. And remember what we said all the time, cracks are starting to show, and it's actually kind of worrying. And now Team Flash right here, I think the draft is kind of superior because there's so many damage in their kit. Once again, like I said, Edith is broken. You shouldn't have a tank that do a lot of damage.
Okay, yeah, the cracks are showing, but is this more of a Garnier Men thing that they just need to kind of lather on a little bit?
I think they need to lather on, clean up the face a little bit, you know, reset, refresh. This is exactly what we need for Bleed Esports. But on the other hand, we're going to go into a small little tech pause as well, making sure that the game is all fair, nice and dandy. But like I said, there's too many damage on the side of Team Flash. Bleed needs to be careful when they're engaging.
Yep, happy.
Stop. Happy. It's all about being happy. I mean, it could go on both ends. Any team can be happy at the end of the day, right? No?
Yeah, but I think Jace prefers it in his style rather than Cram God's style at this point. But, you know, likewise, okay, so I'm going to be the villain here. I'm going to stand on Team Flash's side, and I think this is a very beautiful draft. Yes, and I'm very confident.
You're on the left. We're on the right.
They should have, you know, this game in the bag if they pull this execution off properly.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot easy. It's very easy to execute Team Flash, right? Like, everybody just pop the ultimate, they should be able to win.
Yes, but okay, which team has more pressure in this game? Like, who needs it more for the rest of this series in terms of confidence, motivation, all of these things?
My personal take is I think Bleed needs it more. They need this solid, steady momentum to, you know, feed off of, because we know Team Flash has already shown that they are a very adaptable team. They're very comfortable playing from behind as well. Whatever situation you put them in, you know, it's fine. They will just show up and make you see that your life will flash before your eyes and you'll die and you lose. So that's Team Flash.
Okay, all right, that's what Kindo Food thinks, and we're going to go into the game now. This is, of course, the third game of the loser bracket finals. It's a best of 5. Who really wants it? We're going to have to find out with, I think, 2 very evenly drafted teams.
Okay, JPL went for the Hilda, right? And going for the concussive blast, this is exactly what I expected instead of the tenacity. But also another thing to also mention is that Cramgod on this Diggy is gonna scout out every single move, right? Every bush will be bombed. JPL needs to be careful because if not, he'll be releasing so much, information like this one. They know exactly where JPL is, and that's basically boiling down to the keys of victory. They need to keep an eye on JPL.
Yeah, they need to ensure that they do spot it out. But, Diggy, I love the hero. I play Diggy myself. But it's more of those things where you win more, right? Yes, you can do defensive and you can kind of, like lock down all the different pushes that you have defensively, but it's super annoying when you're winning and you're able to just kind of control the map with your bombs.
Yeah, and we saw that being used to great success yesterday, right? Like against Team Evil, basically Kara is just being scouted out, like nobody's business. Now JPL does have a lot of killing pressure against this Diggy though. He can get kited, but as long as he goes into brushes, he's able to refresh very quickly and heal up so that he can survive against the bombs. But don't forget, Cramgod is on this Everest. Means that he's actually getting gold. Wow! Just providing vision, providing poke, and also providing a lot of annoyance against Bleed's draft.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you want to do. You just kind of want to be that annoying guy, just sticking around on the backside.
Sticking the bombs,
yeah. Sticking the bombs, just like being, it can be super annoying. It's one of those things just like, oh, I walked into 4 bombs. Awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what I love to do, right? Put 4 bombs into the enemy and let them walk into it, and you just kill off the clean right there.
Oh, but Gear, he's been thrown back. Veg is going to get him, but the Gear is focusing onto Jay. The Feathered Airstrike is going to be committed onto Gear. They have the immobilization, but Cramgod has already been picked off. Gear is next, looking to be next on the list. Veg goes in for the flicker, but maybe he went too far. No, he played it just right, but now Deck is looking to turn this around right onto Veg. He should make him pay for it, if anything.
Yeah, good start for Bleed, right? But Team Flash, on the other hand, they managed to take Gear down. Like I said, Gear overextends a lot in this particular series, and it's very scary. I think Gear, there's a lot of pressure on him to perform, to be able to kill, but Team Flash is just punishing Gear like that.
Yeah, Gear needs to play Lapu Lapu like Lapu Lapu and not La Poo Poo La, right? The Singaporean version of Lapu. No? Okay, what? And nonetheless,
hold on, what's that?
We're in the point where, he does get over-aggressive, right? And that is definitely an issue that he has. But I think that it's what the team needs. It really balances it out because you have to kind of cater for where Gear is at all points.
Yep, but hold on a second. Looking at bottom side, there's 2 damage in the front side of Team Flash all the way down bottom. JPL will start to pop towards there. Flash is just providing so much pressure on this bottom lane, and obviously Team Flash know exactly where JPL is.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine though. I mean, they have 3 members. Jay was swooping in, they were looking to make a play, but again, JPL just understanding the limits, he went back to safety, he's completely fine.
JPL, I think this is why I really love the Hilda Rome, right? You can basically play him almost like a pseudo assassin, somewhat like a cleanup crew, right? And also you can play him as an play her as an engage. JPL, this is also one of the reasons why he went for this Hilda.
Oh, Yon getting very low. They doing some work. Gear was just going ham, trying to draw a beat on him, but JPL not letting Cramgod get any sort of space, just provide a lot of pressure, but now they're going to back off here.
This reminds me of JPL playing that Cho all the way back then, right? Just providing so much pressure on the enemy side. Now, Team Flash, yes, you have eyes on this Hilda wherever JPL is, but can you stop JPL?
Can you stop him? I mean, that's going to be the #1 question, right? I think JPL has made a presence in every single lane thus far, so you know where to find him when you want to go after JPL.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Gear going into Bravest Warrior, pushing Yon all the way back. That's a stun going in.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, but that's, against the Akai. Yon is just going to shrug that one off pretty much, but they're going to give up the turtle. That's something to take note of, and Deck will happily take that one. That is, of course, the second turtle. Things are a little bit different for this game. Bleed doing quite well.
Yeah, JPL just making sure Cramgod is super busy, right? Now they need to take good care of JPL, but Deck is going in at the same time. Fantastic execution doesn't connect.
Okay, well, the flicker was used. Cramgod got to safety. He's going to back off. But again, JPL just providing so much pressure, just being a nuisance in your face. As I say that, JPL eats the tower shots, does get killed there.
But at the same time, Bleak coming in for a 1-2 punch, right? Deck picked up the purple buff from Team Flash, so that slows down Yon's farm just a little bit. Yes, that was a noble sacrifice, but it also burns away the heavy spin.
Yes, it burned it a lot. I mean, it's still very even. It's one of those things where long game, late game, it's going to help you out, right? You kind of think very suspect play. Was it really worth diving that T2, especially in the heart of 3 members of Team Flash? Probably not the best, at least from the normal eye. But again, it's all about perspective.
Yep, slowing the game down just a little bit. Bleed doesn't really have a very overwhelming advantage right here. The goal lead is only in the 500. It's just not a lot of goal lead as well. So you expect both of these teams do have enough damage to duke it out if they go in for a massive team fight. But if you notice how JPL is playing, right, like just roaming around from one lane to another, providing vision. Now CramGod suddenly on the other side of the map doesn't really have a pin where JPL is, but Yon sneaked up right here. FMM might be a bit of trouble. JPL is on the other side of the map.
Oh, Yon tried to go for it, and it was kind of like you had that spider sense. People aren't on the map. Something something is astray, right? Like I just need to play a little bit more careful, understanding that hey, this game is very early, but in a bit of a different game, at least for Game 3, is that the game tempo has slowed down on both ends.
JPL practically playing on the other side of the map at all. He's never on his side of the map. He's providing so much vision, and it's basically the strategy that we see JPL use before as the Cho in season number 4, just basically providing this map hack for Bleed, and now giving Bleed a lot of information and make educated guess on where Team Flash is, and that's why they're able to take almost 2 turtles in a row.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to take the third one. Deck is easily taking this one. And JPL, again, you talked about the intel, the fact that he's been aggressive. He's been in the enemy jungle.
He's the spy.
He's the spy, but the thing is that, normally a spy, there's a little bit of, cloak and dagger, but this one, JPL is just like out in the open. He's like, hey, I see everybody.
Yeah, and the worst part is Team Flash has no answer to it. Vanix, getting chunked down a little bit low. Bleed will take the first turret at the bottom side for themselves. Team Flash will trade it for the top instead.
It's all about the map control, the vision, all of that, being able to push it back. They've got that T1, probably one of the easier ones, but now JPL's been pulled back. Yon, trying to go for something, but they don't really have the control, and JPL just shrugs off most of that damage.
Yeah, he just walks in the bush, and every brush is basically like his base, right? He can heal up all the way there. Looking at the items right here, but JPL receives a lot of damage. Something I also just noticed, 3 purifies from the side of Bleed.
Oh my god, JPL eating that feathered airstrike, the first one, and he's kind of like the guy where he's like a nobody, but he walks into the store and he's got the swagger. But as I say that, he's getting bursted here. He does need to be a little bit careful. FMM doing some work. The cult ulcer, that's going to be used. Jay and CramGod both get to safety, and now it's going to back off. But again, Bleed Esports pushing the initiative. You push them back, and you've gotten the T1 mid out of it.
Yeah, so that's technically a good fight coming off from Bleed, right? Team Flash was pushed back. Even though they do have CramGod with the time journey, they couldn't commit to the fight because they don't have the cult ulcer. Yes, the feather airstrike came in a little bit well in terms of the damage, but if you see how Bleed is fighting, they're all spread out. It's very hard for Jay to basically land the damage down.
Oh, Deck going in for this one. Wow, he's gonna, get out of there. Be a little bit close. He's been pulled back. Storm Rose just keeping him a little untargetable for now, but 5 members, of Team Flash right now within the vicinity, though.
Yeah, Bleed is just pushing hard, right? Mid lane already taken down now. FMM will focus on the top side. He's gonna farm out of control. Don't forget, it's an avarice that he's picked up. But FMM, they're not out of the woods just yet. Vanix, once it picks up the item, can easily shred. It's AoE damage, but Bleed is never sticking together.
Yeah, never sticking together, but they've split push, and they've done a great job. They've taken the T2 top. Because of that, they've taken all of the objectives. They're going to take the Lord here. They've just they're playing a dance, and they're making, Team Flash dance to their own music.
Yeah, and all because JPL, right? Providing so much vision, they know exactly where Team Flash is. That's why FMM can comfortably push top, and now they're focusing on mid. This is Bleed just literally changing the book. Yes, I cannot win you in team fights. I cannot win you in micro. Let me win you with macro, with these side lanes pressure, and now Team Flash lost a lot of turrets top and mid lane, and now they're all locked back into their base.
JPL might not have the most damage, might not have the most gold, but in terms of impact, he's had the most, at least on Bleed Esports. The fact that he's been pushed up and everybody's focusing on him and they can't do anything. They can't actually lock him down. They're having a very difficult time just trying to do anything at this point.
Bleed needs what? Damage dealt. JPL. Wow.
Okay. As I say that, he is the top. So impact-wise, yes, he is number 1.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but I think right now Bleed needs to use this Lord to push it in because Team Flash does have the high ground. I'm not too sure whether barrier airstrike is available for Jay. He's holding on to it right now. Oh, he doesn't really have it, so that means that the turret will get punched down a little bit weak on the top side. Bleed is slowly bleeding out Team Flash.
Yeah, and this is what you want to do. You're definitely in the lead. JPL now overstepped a little bit on that point. He does get picked up. That's his second death. But, you know, mind you, it's still very early. They're Bleed Esports up 5K.
5K, that's because of standing goal, but that's because of all the turrets they've taken down, right? If Team Flash turn it around, reverse sweep them, there's always these standing goals that Team Flash can bank on. These are banks that they haven't touched, and speaking about touching, Deck.
Oh, Deck, he punctures to safety. Oh, but Gear looking to turn this around. He's going 1 versus 5. The rest of the team need to back off, but now the feathered airstrike. Okay, that's you've burnt that one on, but onward throws him back, and Deck has been thrown back. Sayla a little slow, a little out of position for that called off their save.
Bleed doesn't know whether they want to go forward or backwards. If you notice, Gear was engaging, but Deck was already pulling back, and then when Gear pulled back, Deck went in. There's some miscommunication right there coming up from Bleed, and Bleed needs to be careful, right? They've got this lead that built up, and they have to be careful about this. They cannot allow Team Flash to just return their favor like this.
Yeah, and Sayla's been stuck back onwards. He's getting killed as well. And here's the thing. You talk about the mistake that Gear did. He went in, he tried to go in ham, but that one kill turned into the second kill, and this is how you're talking about cracks. This is how they get back in the game.
Yep. Bleed right here, right? It's all about JPL, right? Now, Team Flash exploring the side of the map. They don't care. They ditched the base already, and they're trying to fight for map control. JPL, yes, his time is already gone because JPL doesn't really do much damage anymore, and also he's unable to survive against Flash, especially when, you know, Flash has already started to pick up the necessary items to burst down JPL.
You need to play perfectly, right? This is day 3. This is it, right? You want to move on. You want to get to that grand finals. You need to make sure that you don't make mistakes. Any sort of mistake can be capitalized on here by Team Flash, and they're kind of starting to feel it, like they're being able to contest the Lord here.
Yeah, the Lord's going to be vital for Team Flash, right? If Team Flash actually take this Lord, they'll be able to equalize the gold lead right here. It's going to be Bleed that's dragging the Lord to their side of the map. FMM just trying to zone the BMI all the way back to say Team Flash, but while Team Flash is dancing around, look at where JPL is.
Yeah, he's pushing it. He's just forcing the issue right there, but I don't know if that's the right call. JPL is now going to make his way back. Now the onwards throws back Deck. Thorn Rose is going to be used, but it looks like I'm going to focus in on it. Deck has been killed, and JPL has joined the fight. The feathered airstrike, that's going to be used, and Venge is going to be killed. Gear has made an appearance, but FMM has already been killed. Cramgod has been killed in return. Yon is looking to focus in on this one. Can they get any more? The Lord is actually doing some collateral damage. Jay flickers to safety. He's going to be fine. JPL has the shield. He's going to back off.
Oh, that's so bad for for Bleed, right? This is going to be a big problem. Vanix cannot be touched at all. FMM actually lost a life, so it's going to hurt a lot. JPL coming in for the return.
Takes the Lord, and that's going to be huge. Jay has been killed. Sayla will make him pay, but JPL will fall in return.
Yeah, but Gear, they're not fighting it. That's a stun going in, but Vanix still alive. He's actually spreading free damage. But Gear will get Diddled all the way down.
What are you doing? And then turn this around, and Yon gets that secondary kill, and Team Flash now with a 10-5 lead. They've got the net worth lead.
They got the net worth lead, and then they're sending the Lord all the way down to the top. Now look at the Team Flash. The gold lead is swinging to their favor. Bleed, they need to figure out something right now. That team fight, they botched it.
Oh, they botched it, and it's heartbreaking. It's one of those moments where, you know, Bleed had it, but, you know, it's one death that leads into another. It starts to snowball. Cannot have that at this stage. This is the lower bracket finals. Team Flash now pushing the initiative, focusing it down. They're going to take the T3 eventually. That does go down in the end, and now the Lord is going to crash from the top lane.
And the worst part is, Holler, this is not, the Lord hasn't even clashed in already, and Flash has already cracked open the mid lane. It's all because, you know, Bleed was investing so much into trying to take down Vanix. Vanix, the main pushing power, and JPL, I don't know where he's running. He's trying to pull
he's been pulled back. What are you doing, sir? No. JPL gets thrown back into the wall, and he will be killed. The Lord has now made an appearance, crashes into the T3. The core is under. That's going to be looking to be it. Gears looking to fight that. He's been immobilized. He's been stuck in. Vanix will focus on in that one. Deck is going to be next on this list. Yon has got the heavy spin, and that's going to be the core, and that's going to be game 3 going the way.
Game number 3 went over the side. Team Flash, Holler. Again, this is bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Bleed right here, showing sign of crack, and they're basically getting suffocated. Team Flash, on the other hand, they identified the key moment and they made it work. Crazy micro dance, crazy Lord dance, even when the odds are stacked against their favor.
Oh my gosh, the odds were stacked against them, but I mean, Kin, let's pull you back in. I'm sure you're feeling good after that game.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good, boy. I mean, this is a beautiful game, and let me share with you why it's so. Okay, Team Flash, the way the draft works, all they had to do was to sustain, because we know from the draft of Team Bleed, it's supposed to be a rush down execution, right? JPL is going to jump in your face, get the kills, get the goal lead, and that's where they spoil everything. They take the towers from there, and the snowball effect. But throughout the entire game, at least until the 10th minute, it was very difficult for Team Bleed to really have anything. Like, sure, he was dealing damage, right? But he was dying quite a lot. A lot in this game is actually not a lot because it's 2 deaths, but those 2 deaths were very important for the side of Team Flash. Team Flash recognized they were on a timer on the side of Team Bleed. So the moment it hit the 12-minute mark, where they realized, hey, the goal difference isn't that big, and now Vanix is fed, he's ready, he's online, it was the game changer for them. And that's what they were waiting for. And I mean, come on, it's Team Flash. And like I said, you guys are on the right, but you know, you're not right so far.
Okay, we have still many more games to be played. I think we're going to still go to that game 5, but you are right in that sense that Team Flash had really stepped up. But here's the situation, right? I think it comes down to gear, right? This guy was previous regular season, MVP for them. They did quite well in Bleed Esports. But how do you, he tended to have made a little bit of mistakes here, left and right. And I think the team is starting to struggle because of that.
Yeah, I think this 50-50, this coin toss, right, doesn't work in the favor of Bleed. JPL tried to drag Flash away from the main objective, making sure they've invested so much over in JPL, but JPL was a little bit too squishy. Gear, on the other hand, I can see the reason why they want to go for Vanix, but Vanix is a Melissa, and there's also Yawn that's providing so much peel and allowing Vanix to just free hit out of control at the backline. Bleed cannot touch Vanix at all.
Cannot touch him at all. And I mean, this comes back to Sayla's, the Faramis. I thought that was going to be enough, but then, wow, Team Flash had an answer. They were able to just kind of make sure that every single Cult Altar was not really that effective. But, Team Flash just really turned it up.
It was the way that they played on the side of Team Bleed, right? The rush down effect didn't work in Sayla's favor because he actually built the Enchanted Talisman first. He didn't offer that much damage at the start. He only got the Clock of Destiny after he completed the Talisman, and that was around 9 minutes and 50 seconds. So that was very late. He didn't offer much damage, and you could see the turning point was when Deck overstepped a little. It wasn't Sayla that was late and out of position, it was Deck. And he stepped just a bit too far forward, which allowed that throwback from Vex itself, and that really changed the game.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that, right? Once Deck lost his life, don't forget, he was heavy split. He was, there's a knockup from the Edith. There's no way for this Lancelot to jump away, even though he has his iframes, because he's unable to give that. And just taking a look at the damage coming off from Team Flash.
Yeah, just a ton of damage. I mean, throughout, the amount of control that they had. I mean, the Diggy, the pullback, you had just so many different ways to lock people into place. Bleed Esports, they thought, oh yeah, we had the JPL, we can kind of, be very aggressive, we can kind of just get out whenever we want, but the amount of control that they had, it was like, I don't have respect for them, but they should have.
Yep, exactly. And you know what's the story of this? If you take a look at the kill participation, it is Bleed trying to play Flash's style. Yeah. And here's Flash playing Bleed style, which is the exact opposite, right? Bleed was trying to, get the objectives done, and then we get the kills from there. But Flash was like, no, let's fight it out, man.
Yeah, it's all about adaptation, right? Bleed, on the other hand, slowed down in terms of adaptation, and it's actually hurting them a lot. Team Flash, they adapted on the fly, they adapted in the regular season, they were adapted in the playoffs, mind you, right? And they found Yawn's heroes. They managed to fix so many issues, and this is, remember, I was telling you guys about this during the regular season. There's an uphill battle for Team Flash to climb, and they basically climbed it.
Okay, but Team Flash, the MVP of that game 1. Of course, this is game 3. Vanix on another level. SOS with his KDA.
505.
Yep, I mean, shout out to 505, right? I mean, this 505 KDA is beautiful. Quantum Charge as its emblem works perfectly with the Melissa as well, right? So he actually was quite late. He got his Corrosive Scythe at 9 minutes and 4 seconds. That was very late.
Yeah, but he was basically playing very safe, right? He knows that as long as he maintains distance, as long as he's doing damage in the back end, he should be able to pop. Now, I think it also boils down to that particular last team fight, right? Basically lock everybody down. Don't forget, once there's a counter being procced, everyone will clump up, and that's where the puppet will just shred everybody to pieces, especially with this particular items going in.
Yes, yes. And you kind of expect it, and they played around it very, very well, right? That was the most impressive thing by Team Flash is just understanding what each of their own heroes had to do, as well as the enemy teams, and just kind of danced around that.
Yeah, it's once again, you know, Bleed giving away the momentum over to Team Flash, and Team Flash took 2 games right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, like I'm not even gonna say they had flashes of brilliance because it wasn't. It was just a complete turnaround. So this is a very adaptable and evolving Team Flash, and I really like this because what this means is, you know what, they potentially could seal the series off with a win in the next game.
Okay, all right. Don't be Debbie Downer in this one, right? I think the fans here want to see a game 5. We want to see a game 5. We want to see it get there, but this is a situation where your back's on the wall now, right? This is it. Any hero you choose has got to be like, make sure that you're super comfortable with it. But let's go to the mic check here.
Club band.
Cloud band, Lance dead. Nice. Chill.
Yeah, we can go, guys.
I pull the Paramis. Hey, Paramis only purify, Nice.
Go bottom, guys. Go bottom. Come.
Pull Lance, Lance dead. Nice. Nice. War. I got you, bang. War. Lapu.
Hey, guys. 5 seconds. Go.
Nice.
Go. Chip here.
Nice. Chill. Just back.
Hey, money here.
Just Get back. Go. Nice. Ken.
Hey, go bottom.
End the ball.
Guys.
Chill, Crips first.
Hey,
I pull up.
Upon me.
I got you. We good. We win. End the ball. Happy.
Touch, bro.
Stop! Yes! Happy.
Oh, happy.
That was it. Cram God, you have a new fan here.
No! I don't know if we're at that level yet. Obviously, we still have many more games to go, but that was a situation where you saw the wheels kind of just fall off.
Okay, it all boils down to the last team fight, right? Like Yon isolated FMM. The Blazing Duet was used to clear the creeps, but unfortunately, Yon just shoved him all the way to the corner. That's your naughty corner. You stay there, and the rest of Team Flash just focuses on the objectives, and that's how they won the game. That last team fight was so painful to watch if you're supporting Bleed.
Yeah, I mean, they recognized the problem, right? They realized that they were shifting back into a turtling mentality, and they felt that, no, we need to show our presence. We need to force the game in our favor, right? And that's why they made that decision to chase Yon when Yon was low. That was a huge mistake because Vanix still had half his health and he was already at a late game itemization stage.
I think that last one, right? Like when Gale was going for Vanix, I can see why they want to do it. But Sayla's a little bit slow. Doesn't really have the Call Altar as well. If the Call Altar is online, I think they'll return around and
that would have been a perfect one.
Correct. And Team Flash wouldn't have enough pushing power to push down the turrets.
So it's one of those things where Gear is like that hound that's going after guys, right? He's getting the pickoffs, and sometimes it's super great. Like he can carry games. He can control it by being aggressive. But sometimes it's like, hey, you need to like tone it down a little bit. Just leash him back just a little bit. Just kind of control that so that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, not to overheat at all. Because Bleed right here, don't forget, this is Tournament Live right here. This is
it?
One game away. And Team Flash will be going into the top 2 slot. Bleed, on the other hand, has a lot more to prove in order to fight against the rivals in the grand finals.
Yep. This is a battle of adaptability, right? No matter how you see it, this game, it really shows who has the potential because both these teams are very strong and they're really just learning about each other in this entire process of this best of 5 series. And as it stands now, it looks like Team Flash have a better learning curve, right? They are able to understand how their opponents work and how they really just put them in a pinch. So, like I said, Oobleck,
they're improving, right? We're seeing this game after game and understanding that even if we're behind, we know how to get back into the game. I think that's been the most impressive thing about Team Flash. They're very well coached, and you can tell that, hey, it's like we can deal with adversity. We know how to overcome.
Yeah, because right here, like it feels like, you know, they're being unpredictable, and then all of a sudden, once again, they went back to basics. They went back to the same draft as what Bleed would have done for themselves, and now we're gonna have to go back to the draft once again.
I was gonna say we have to hang on the praises for a bit. I mean, KCP's ego is quite high already. Let's not, you know, feed him even more.
Okay, I was just trying to cast her curse on that. That's what she's talking about. Okay. But we're into it. It's going to be game 4. The draft has just begun.
Tough one. The battle of adaptability. Team Flash and Team Bleed, both which are very strong in nature. Right now, Team Flash just edging it out by a little bit. They will ban out the 1-1 as a start, and Joy, still something that Bleed doesn't want to see in the hands of either team.
Right now, it's just... I don't think it's a draft anymore, right? I think it's just all about execution. And
Sir,
now it's just
what's your
about,
command?
you know,
Your team
Bleed
is
securing
banning.
their mainstays, right? Their comfort picks, right? But going up against Team Flash, who's so versatile, so adaptable, they really need to pull all the punches against Team Flash to try to stop them. They have a wonderful early game in game number 3, and somehow they just gave it away over to Team Flash because of the momentum being built in.
I like that actually they're forcing us as casters to evolve with them as well as adapt the way we're thinking about how this game will go. Right now, it seems the sequence is, what do I want to win this game with? It's not about, you know what, let's think about this meta draft and this particular hero or this particular champion. It's really different right now, but there are still a few key considerations that we need to think about for the side of Team Bleed. The Faramis, they banned it, right? They were scared that Flash was using it. Flash absolutely destroyed them with this Cult's Outer usage. They got to pick it themselves. They got countered entirely. So now as Bleed, what do you think about it? Like, do you think, oh, should I have the Cult's Outer available to myself? Do I give it over to Flash? Can I counter it the same way they countered us? It's really a bunch of questions that Bleed has to think and address in very short time, and it's very difficult to do so.
You are facing a question.
They're gonna leave the Faramis open. Team Flash can pick it up very easily, or they can just pick the Valentine right back. But no, it's gonna be the Kaja. Oh my goodness, the kidnapper. It's in my dreams. Happy. The Candyman, or basically like Stockholm Syndrome, whatever you want to call it, it's coming back.
All right, Cram God definitely gonna have his hands on this Kaja again. Now the question is for Bleed. What do you want to do with it? There are a couple of options you can explore. You can allow this Kaja to land that catch and then punish him for catching, or you could just entirely block off the catch option in the first place. And you know, based on the picks and the bans that we see, it looks like they're happy to stop it before it happens, because example, Glue would be perfect. He can actually break out of the Divine Judgment, being a tanky boy as well.
Time and tide wait for no man. Your team, North Girl.
It will be a saving grace in that particular scenario.
To live
FMM went back to Beatrix, but that's
Reaper.
also, I feel more like a counter pick, right? Like, Beatrix is something that can, is a hero can burst anybody that Kaja decides to kidnap. But once again, Sayla went back to the Faramis. It's basically back to basics. And now we're gonna have to ask this question, right? Can Bleed hold on? Especially it's one game away from Team Flash going to the grand finals once again.
The hunter of all the evil
I was thinking about this. The Edith was so wide open for Team Flash to pick up. And now don't forget, the Claude, also a comfort pick for Vanix at the same time.
It could be tunnel vision from the side of Bleed, the fact that they have given away the Edith once again, or it could be just blatant disrespect, you know, that, oh, you know what, I figured out your Edith, we have something against it. But based on what they have, Sailor again on this Cult's Outer Faramis, it is going to be important for the team's positioning. And I really like the synergy for FMM, because this time FMM on the Beatrix, she offers so much more damage within a shorter amount of time. And I think it's going to work out in Bleed's favor, but they need someone else for JPL that can provide space to chase away Mr. Yawn, not Yawn, Mr. Cram God, that's one. And he has to make life difficult for Vanix as well.
I love the smell of good powder in the morning.
That's perfect as well. If you cannot catch them, I'll bring them to you. Franco with the Iron Hook and with the additional disable with the Bloody Hunt, definitely going to be good against our Cram God Kaja as well.
But if you notice, Skin, right, like it feels like Bleed went back for this pick composition. Yesterday, the first 2 games, once I pick up pick composition, they were able to pick apart team fight 1 by 1, and they should be able to win. So if right here, if Bleed were to go for this Franco, right, Team Flash, they need to force this team fight up their throats. But they've already secured a pick composition for themselves, right, with the Kaja pick. How are they going to adapt into a 5v5 team fight in order to fight against Bleed's draft?
Your team is
It's a
banning.
bit difficult here because, you know, they're lacking the mage position at this point. You know, who is going to win in the laning phase against Sailor's Faramis, right? Faramis does offer a decent amount of wave clear. And of course, with that being said, I think Deck might consider the Tanxalot as well. With the rotations for Tanxalot, it could offer a lot of wave clear with the help of his Thorn Rolls. I mean, that's what some of the teams are doing to clear the lanes faster and make that first rotation.
Yep, the Thorn Roll is definitely very helpful, right? Against
a punch for a punch.
Right? But that's going to be the Paquito getting taken away. Paquito used by Gear in game number 1 was very effective, so they respected that, so they take it away. Now, Bleed right here, banning away the Valentina because it's a Faramis pick once again. I think you ban away the Farsa. The Farsa was a big problem in game number 3.
Yep, I agree as well. Farsa was a big problem. And like I said, level 12, that was the major power spike for Farsa, right? Almost unlimited ultimate usage for the Feather Airstrike. It caused a lot of problems for the entirety of Team Bleed. Now, the thing that Team Bleed now has to consider is who is that going to pick? Wow,
Man.
okay, they're going to ban out the Luoyi. And for good reason as well.
Yeah.
Luoyi offers a lot of burst with the dispersion, right? And of course, the most disgusting thing about Luoyi is diversion. That holy TP is going to cause a lot of problems, especially with a lineup as sneaky and as CC heavy on the side of Team Flash with the Hedef as well as this Kaja as well.
Yeah, you can use the TP to just TP behind and we start picking your backline apart, right? If Bleed wants to play front to back, but now it's going to be that you don't get it taken away by Team Flash once again. They're limiting gear right here, and there's not a lot left, like, right? Unless you want to go for the Lapu Lapu, which can technically
Now
work,
Kai enters the scene.
but
Your
the
team
Claude
is picking.
is proven to be very elusive, right? And it's very hard to land down your stun if you're a Lapu Lapu.
Arkai, okay, so they want to go for a more tanky build, and I think, I mean, we have seen Deck play Arkai, I believe, in regular season, maybe once or twice, I'm not really too sure, but the tankiness of Bleed's lineup is looking good. My only concern for the side of Team Bleed is the wave clear ability. Sure, Beatrix can clear waves pretty fast, but that's towards the mid-game, late-game status. A Franco and an Arkai don't exactly clear as fast as a Claude and an Edith, and definitely not as fast as a Kaja for sure.
I think it all boils down to Bleed with the Bandit's Rage, right? With the bombs. That's very important for FMM to make sure that he knows which guns you want to go
Horology
for.
is my craft.
Gonna be
Diggy is my name.
the Diggy once again for the side of Team Flash because it's okay up against Akai, and
Your
that
team
is
is
beyond on the Martis. It's something that he's very
and not a
comfortable with,
single
and you know
worthy
he would
foe.
dunk, and it's gonna be very scary. Bleed has faced against Martis over and over again, and not only just the fact that Martis paired with the Diggy can be saved with the heavy spin. Martis innate has CC immunity against this Arkai.
Yep, and they'll probably give Jay the Kaja instead?
No, Jay on the Diggy, Mage Diggy.
Mage Diggy, okay. That kind of evens things out. I mean, Alarm Clock Bomb is a pretty decent clear as well. I mean, in comparison to what Sailor offers on his Faramis. So now Gear has a couple of
This
options
land
left.
is our homeland,
And it looks
will
like,
soon
yes,
be your
it
burial
feels
ground.
as though Team Flash is forcing Gear to go back into Lapu Lapu again.
Yeah, but like there's a free purify for everybody in Team Flash. There's also the CC immunity built in for the side of the Martis. Lapu Lapu's done it's also kind of hard to land on top of the Claude unless you get a perfect, Bravest Warrior. And at least this time around, the Akai can spin the Vanix away with the Blazing Away, but you have the Diggy, so it's gonna be tough. This is a very tough fight for Bleed, especially in Team Flash's draft. They're just immune to CC, yet they can still do CC to you too.
Yep, and this is potentially the final adaptability test. Who is the most adaptable of these two teams? Who will take the win and face RSG Slate SG in our grand finals later today?
Game 4, the draft has been set. We know what's going to happen.
5 seconds
Every
till the
team right
enemy
now.
reaches
This
the
is pretty much one of those moments where
Smash
Team
them.
Flash, can they actually close this series out? Can Bleedy Sports
Welcome
bounce
to
back?
Mobile
For the Bleedy
Legends.
Sports fans, are you there? Okay, we can hear them. We can hear them. They got the flags and everything. But Team Flash fans, your team has a chance to play into the grand finals. Are you there to help support Team Flash?
There you go, there's a bit, but like I said, Team Flash, one step closer to breaking the curse of MPL Singapore, where we always see Bleed and RSG, but it's not a very good sign. I'll say not a very good sign for me because I'm always supporting Bleed, but like, you get the point, right? Like really, Bleed right here needs a plan and to deal with Team Flash because its unpredictability is throwing Bleed off their gears.
I mean, that's been the biggest thing about MPL Season 5, right? All of the teams have gotten tremendously better, right? There's been so much growth. Everybody's there, and there's almost everyone can represent Singapore here.
Yep, and now it's a different orange. We thought that SMG will be, be there to basically fight for the top 2 spot. But Team Flash, the different orange here to prove us wrong. Now, a very slow start for Bleed once again. FMM should be able to win Vanix in the top lane. But if you notice how where Cram God is, focusing more towards the top side instead.
Yeah, focusing a lot. FMM is by himself, though. And, this is one of those things where you're letting Vanix on the Claude happen again. Are you going to let this guy just cook again?
Slowly. Bit by bit, I guess.
Slow roast, is that what it is?
Cooker.
It's a slow cooker?
Slow cooker, let it stew instead of letting it cook. Team Flash, I think it's Bleed that needs to deep fry Flash right here, right? They need something fast. But yes, that's why they put the Beatrix on. But then again, there's the Diggy to slow down the pace again.
Yeah, and if you look at the rest of Bleed, though, they're kind of like the old, they got control, they got the fatties. They don't really have that burst that you're looking for, right? It's not meant to be just like assassinated, get in, get out. There's like, we want a long, sustaining team fight.
Yep, they do. It's all about to this, but okay, Vetch throwing someone over.
Cult Altar, that's going to be used already, and then the turtle's been taken. Yawn will secure that one, and it looks like they've got the suppression. The Bloody Hook is going to be on point. Yawn is going to be killed, and that's going to be a pretty decent start to Bleed Esports. A deck. Big gets thrown back. Venge gets something out of this. Jay gets the flicker. He's going to go for the Sailor right onto him, but he's going to let him go.
That's a punish coming out from Team Flash. Bleed was able to secure... no, it's Team Flash that secured the turtle. Bleed tried to punish back. They pick up 2 members, but Flash evened it out with 1 takedown. And this is the power of this Edith. This Edith spreads damage. As you notice, Bleed were all super low. And at the very last moment, when, Edith ran out of ultimate, he had to burn the flicker to secure that kill.
Yeah, and this has been the Team Flash secret, right? Every single game that they've won is because they've had the Edith thus far. I mean, they put them into a great position to, to take advantage of the team fight. You control positioning, you have the stuns, you have almost everything that you want from the Edith.
Now, this is not a very good mid-row duo, that, if you ask me, coming off from Bleed, right? So yes, Sailor is a Pharmist, he does a lot of damage, but it's burst, right? It's that small amount of burst, you cannot just DPS and burn someone down. That's the reason why JPL wasn't able to drag Diggy, drag Jay right underneath there, but unable to secure the deal. If this was a Farsa, let's say for example, if this was an Eve with a bit of a DPS with a lot more burst, right? I think that would be a dead Diggy.
Yeah, and it has the potential. But again, Bleed Esports right now, they don't really have that damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't.
That's very worrying. Yes, you're in it for the long haul, but Jay, he's going to be fine. The heavy spin's going to use just to keep himself alive. But this is a situation where the team fight needs to be flawless.
Okay, yes. Now, both big ultimates has been burned, right? Flash burned away a Time Journey. Bleed has already burned away the heavy spin. Bloody Hunt going in.
Oh, the Bloody Hunt. That's blocked him in. Yawn is going to be he's going to die on that one. No real chance. Bleed Esports on point.
Yeah, this is exactly what we need, right? JPL hooking someone. FMM needs to follow up very quickly. This is why I was talking about this. This mid-duel doesn't really make sense. But at the very least, with FMM joining the fray with JPL, they can just instant lock somebody down, take him out. And the worst part is they took down the jungler of Team Flash. They lost the turtle priority. Bleed took that turtle, and they hope to snowball.
And looks like the teams have kind of changed, right? Bleed, they were hiding in that bush, and Team Flash was completely caught unaware, right? Yawn just thought he would just walk by through, have that midnight stroll, so to speak, but he got caught with his pants down, and unfortunately, he's died twice because of that.
Yeah, right now, Bleed, they're not out of the woods just yet. 1,000 gold lead is nothing to be proud of for now. And don't forget, right here, it's also Veg that is scaling out of control because he is an eater. He does a lot of damage. Bleed, on the other hand, they need to play around FMM, right? JPL, Sailor, FMM, these trio needs to play. Gear, on the other hand, just needs to hold down that forward. Make sure that the AXP lane doesn't go down instead. And hopefully Bleed needs to roam with this trio that I was talking about.
Yeah, slow it down. Gear, you know, again, just
mid-lane.
Be a little less aggressive. But in the mid lane, they have the suppression on the nice cult ulcer, keeping JPL alive. But for how much longer? He's going to go down. And that goes right to Vanix. That's not what you want. Deck is now on the run. Sailor trying to keep himself alive. He's fine for now, but now, oh my gosh, that was not the greatest fight.
Not the greatest fight, but luckily for Sailor, the cult altar coming in clutch. Yon cannot use the decimate and he cannot keep proccing. If Yon keeps proccing the decimate, Bleed would have been dead in that particular fight.
You gotta have just, it's not only about the sustain, but it's being able to damage and burst it out. Bleed don't really have that. They need to be super focused. And Deck right now in a bit of a skirmish with Yon.
Yep, right here, looking at the items, that's a BOD being secured by FMM. FMM with the Weapon Master, that's going to be stonks in terms of the damage. Now, Bleed needs to find a way to convert that damage into something else. Now, the turtle is going to be spawning in 15 seconds. Bleed needs to pick someone up. If Yon gets picked up, that is stonks, and they're trying to look for it. Yon, okay, Gear going in, that's a stun.
That's a stun, no hook though, no follow-up. And Veg has taken the bottom T1. This is the space that was provided to you. You're going to take advantage of it. Now he's looking to make a beeline to the turtle to help contest here. Bleed Esports, yes, they've got the dance that's going to be started, but Jay, wow, taking about half life.
Conceal play, looking for some pickup right here, will be dragging, but Bleed.
Oh, the Ashura Aura is on point. The Venice Rage is doing some work. The Cult Ulcer, but Cramgod has already been picked off. Gear is looking to turn this around, and Bleed Esports have come out the victor. They're going to take that turtle.
Cramgod found someone, he found Sailor, drag him all the way, and JPL saying, you're never gonna run away with someone hooked. So he got stunned right there by the Bloody Hunt. Instant reactions coming on JPL, but Bleed is just stemming that bleed for now.
Just for now, but it's going to be a point where Team Flash had that tipping point. They can start to burst some of these fatties down. As I say that, nice hook by the Veg though, but he's going to be fine under that tower, keeping themselves alive. This is a bit of a big commitment from 3 members of Bleed.
You drag an Edith, and Edith jumps into the human form with full wrath. FMM cannot take this amount of damage, he has to walk away. So Bleed, on the other hand, they respected Veg's damage, but Flash has created so much space at the bottom lane. Look where Vanix is right here, just focusing on the bottom lane. Cramgod is also providing them vision. Gear needs to go in and use the ultimate just to wave clear.
A lot of space provided by Vanix, right? Debatable who's the best MM in Singapore. We're going to find out probably by the end of today, but I think that we have a case for all of these MMs. Everybody's been playing really top tier at this point, but this is game 4. Who wants it?
Of course, Team Flash, right? They're looking at the top 2 spot. They're on the roll right here. They're gaining momentum. Bleed, on the other hand, they need to slow it down. Jay, oh, that's the time journey being popped by Team Flash. Big ultimates. We'll see how Bleed takes advantage of this.
It's a bit of a cooldown. I mean, you can kind of work it around, but again, no objective here. It'll be up for the next turtle at the Lord at this point, so nothing to really worry about. But as I say that, let's talk a little bit about this net worth lead. It's neck and neck.
No, it's not. I wouldn't even call it a lead. It's still equal, right? But in terms of the map pressure, it is in the favor of Team Flash. And usually with map pressure, you gain more objectives, right? And Team Flash does have a lot of standing gold that's waiting for them to take down. Bleed, on the other hand, you know, they're losing a little pressure on the side lanes. It's going to be a straight going out the bottom for the top.
Yeah, they've taken the T1 bottom, or the T2, excuse me. They're going to take that one, and they'll walk away. Team Flash kind of in control at this point. I feel like it's very neck and neck, though, but as I say that, onwards, right onto Deck, heavy spins, he pushes him back, and he says, get off me, bro.
Yeah, get off me, but then that's a heavy spin being committed. That's a Lord being spawned on the top side. Team Flash can easily take that. Look at Jay. Doesn't really have time journey on, but there is still the hook. It's all about Bleed hooking somebody in. We bust this person down. FMM is starting to come online. Don't forget we have the BOD. They need to try to trade right here.
Oh, the suppression, the Divine Judgment pushing it back. Oh, the nice Earth Shatter. That's going to connect on the 2 now. The Cult Altar keeping them alive, but how much damage can they do? JPL has already been taken out. Gear is going to be next on the list. Vanix is looking to image back to safety. Gear does go down. Veg will secure that one, and Team Flash are getting back into it.
I see Bleed getting knocked sideways, topways, every way, because Flash is just CCing them all the way down. And look at Wild Vanix noticing that Bleed doesn't really have any form of survivability, goes into the back line and just shreds through everyone and blaze into it. Take a look at this instant replay right here. It all started off with this. Look at JPL. Bloody Hunt is available, getting dragged all the way back in. He has no way to actually use his hook or even a Bloody Hunt, giving Vanix full steam ahead and control. They don't even have to commit to the time journey. It's not even available. Vanix found the perfect entry against Bleed.
Nobody died from Team Flash. That's the miracle thing, right? Bleed Esports, yes, you're able to sustain. Yes, you have the Cult Altar. You have all these options, but you're not able to kill anybody in return. This is a worrying situation for Bleed because this lead is starting to go in favor of Team Flash and it might continue to grow.
Yeah, now the Lord's pushing down bottom lane, right? Team Flash will be able to penetrate the mid lane. Bleed, on the other hand, their arms are full. They need to juggle a lot of things at the same time. And it all started off because of the amount of CCs that Team Flash have. They caught JPL, drag him all the way down. And now Bleed needs to find a way to stem this bleeding once again. I know I said it over and over again, but they don't really have the high ground. Yes, we do have FMM with the bombs, but can they do it? Can they defend?
Tick, tock, tick.
Time journey?
This is on Bleed Esports. The fact that their backs are to the wall, right? This is an elimination game just to get themselves into the grand finals, putting themselves in this situation. Team Flash have turned this game on its head. They are in firm control.
Yeah, firm control. Look at that. There's no turrets outside for the side of Bleed right here. The garden has been weeded. It's clean. It's bare. It's a desert. It's a barren wasteland for Bleed. Team Flash gained so much map dominance. It started down all the way down from the bottom lane, and then over the sudden they took down the Lord. It converted every single goal into Team Flash's hand up. Bleed, they don't have the high ground. They need a perfect game, and they need a miracle to happen.
I mean, you need a miracle to happen. You got to start with the hook, right? That initiation will set things up. You got to get somebody out of position. JPL has not been lucky, or just he hasn't really hit anything at this point.
Yep, slowing down just a little bit. Nothing for Team Flash to do right here, but to wait for the next Lord. Just looking at Vanix right here. Wind of Nature, that's the glowing one, and also not glowing one, the golden staff. That's also the Demon Hunter sword and the currency side. This is a Claude that's ready and online to fight. Beatrix, on the other hand, not too far apart. These two items, the BOD and Malefic Roar, is the one, and now with the Wind of Nature, should be allowing him to survive just a little bit longer. JPL needs more items. I feel like they need more HP, needs more tankiness, because he's getting shredded by either Vanix or even, to a certain extent, Vets.
Yeah, no real chance. I mean, this is a situation where farm is very scarce. You got to figure something out. Everybody, the team is fighting for it. FMM hasn't really been given that space to farm, and pretty much all of your eggs are in the FMM basket. Yeah. Can he burst you? Can he find somebody? We have yet to see that in a real team fight.
JPL needs a wonderful catch. Even going for a shotgun this time around, the Wesker, right? You want to try to find someone, try to bust him down, and then rotate, and maybe find even more now. Team Flash will have full Lord control. Bleed looking to play some conceal play, hopefully, and there you go.
It's going to be the conceal. They pulled back deck. No hook on this one. Veg goes in for this one, providing a lot of space. The Cult Altar is going to be used already, and now it looks like the Nibiru's Assault that's going to do some work, but now they have a Bloody Hunt, and that's going to do some work on the Vanix. He's been killed. This is the opening that they wanted. Kremgod is down. That's life number one. Does he go down for the second time? No. He dashes over to the wall to safety. He's going to be fine, but Vanix down 27 seconds.
Bleed, perfect play right there, right? Like JPL flicker backwards in order to just Bloody Hunt Vanix, stun him into place, making sure that he doesn't use the Blazing Duet anymore, and then allowing FMN to burst him all the way down. Now, Team Flash, they don't have the damage dealer right here. They have to be careful in order to blaze his dance. Bleed, on the other hand, they have all the control in this Lord pit, and they're ready to burst. Yawn is in the vicinity, and they're gonna go.
Oh, the Nibiru's passage, that's gonna be used, but Yawn is already on the back end. They're gonna give up on the Lord. The Earthshatter is gonna be used.
Yawn.
Venge is looking to fight. JPL's been killed. Yawn's been killed in return, but now Bleed have run away, and Team Flash, actually not the worst thing, because Vanix is back up. The Lord is still standing.
The Lord's still standing, the Retribution, but it's in the Bleed's hand. They need to pull back, they need to reset, and they need to rush back to the Lord pit in order to do that. But Team Flash, on the other hand, they know they don't have the Retri. Instead, they're setting down traps. They are making sure that Bleed walk into them because they know that Bleed needs this Lord desperately. And from there, maybe Team Flash can buy some time to allow Yawn to come back and reinforce.
But Bleed Esports had a small window, right? That was an opportunity where Vanix was down to take down that Lord. But Team Flash were like, no, we don't need Vanix to make this team fight. Yep. All we need is that one. make you respect our damage, make you run back to base.
Yeah, and now Bleed, right? This window has slammed down shut because Yon is already all the way back in. Everything that Bleed has invested is now gone. Team Flash regain Lord control right here, and Bleed needs to find a way, find an angle. JPL needs to find a perfect hook, but who do you hook? Where do you hook? How do you hook?
Oh, JPL, the number of hooks that I've seen him miss is just killing me right now, right? I mean, yes, you can get lucky, but mind you, they still have time. The Lord is only at 50%.
Random shot, ready, gear, goes into the stun, the Lord gets resetted, the continue play coming in, Veg, Cram God looking for pickup right here, the hook will go astray, Hauler.
Oh, another one. Every single one that you're calling out just kills me. Part of me just like, just hit one. That's all we need, but Veg on the back end of this one, providing a lot of space, pushing everybody back.
Gear already used the Brave Warrior, so that's also a very hard way for Bleed to enter, and here comes the Veg
they found him deck with the onwards. They're going to throw him back near Shatter. They're going to pull back, but that's a hook. That's going to be on point, but now Bleed, yes, you got the hook, but they backed up. They're going to give up the Lord here.
There's no way. Team Flash immediately take down the Lord. Bleed on the other hand, they were toying with the foot. The hook, that's on J.
That's going to be only on the J though, but you got something which is great. That's what you needed, but man, Bleed Esports right now, they need more than just J at this point.
Yeah, and the worst part is what Team Flash is actually doing this Lord dance. Bleed was tunnel vision. They wanted to pick up someone and they lost bottom side. This is a big problem now. FMM, it's all up to him. That's a hardcore main build. There's more sustainability as well. Dak with their second life needs to make sure that, you know, Team Flash gets punished. But with the super minions marching down, with the Lord marching down the bottom, that's an open base for Bleed. Team Flash should be able to sync this up perfectly and do this. Bleed, on the other hand, they need to find a way. Maybe this is the way. Maybe this is the way.
That could be a start. They do have him, and Crackdown has been down. The Lord is actually going to push in the bottom. Bleed really needed that. No return on that secondary hook, though, but they got something in return. Gears, woo! That was a very dangerous place to recall.
And the worst part is, Bleed, once again, tunnel vision. The lanes are being pushed up. Yes, they got a picked off, but there's nothing to be done there. There's no objectives to be taken. That's just one kill to the score, but you're unable to convert to anything. The Lord will get pushed in at the very least, and they should be able to defend this. I think that kill is just for this, and it's not a very big thing. It's just pure damage control coming up from Bleed.
Yeah, and you'll take whatever win you can get, right? I mean, the kills right now are, yes, in favor of Bleed, but let's talk about objectives. Team Flash have been in firm control. You have both of the towers. You have all three towers in the mid lane. Everything is going your way. Let's talk a little bit about our items here.
Yeah, I pointed out House Claws being built by FMM. FMM does have a lot, but okay, that's a spin coming up on top of Dak, on top of Yon, but we'll not be able to Beyblade anything right now. Flash may turn this around. The continue play activated. They're looking for pickup right here. No flicker. There's flicker available for Cram God. But Flash will back off for now. Bleed pushing back.
Oh, the white flag. They were like, okay, we missed our opportunity. The heavy spin was pushing Yon the wrong way. Unfortunately, not able to get anything in that situation. So Bleed were on the run. They put out the white flag. They were like, okay, let's regroup. Let's figure out the next play.
Yeah, Bleed cannot do anything. They just wait for another. But then again, look at Team Flash. They're super healthy in terms of these turrets. Bleed, on the other hand, you know, it's desperate. Two lanes are wide open. One Vanix coming in with the Blazing Duet to clear off the whole wave and then start to shove the bottom side, or, well, bottom side. They have full control of the Lord Pit, so that's something that Bleed needs to be careful about. And that's why Bleed cannot engage into these fights, because they need to fight 4v5, because Gear needs to be back there to just protect from any form of backdoor.
But you have no other buddy that can deal with the split push, right? You either have Gear or FMM that does pretty much most of the damage. Everybody else has had that control. Now, the Lord is up in about 15 seconds. This one will be key.
Yep, if you notice how Bleed is reacting to this, right? Team Flash knows that they're assuming that Team Flash is going to focus on the top side, but then again, there's a huge wave being built up on the top. Bleed, on the other hand, focusing on the bottom side. They should be able to clear this right here. Team Flash, on the other hand, full control on the other side. It's just this push and pull in terms of the map dominance. We need to see how JPL hooks this one.
No, not able to hit that one. I feel like it's very predictable. You're coming in straight. Veg can see this a mile away, but as I say that, Gear goes for the bravest fighter. He's going to be pulled back, and now the Lord. This one will be key.
Definitely. Should be key right here. That's a Hot Lord, already half HP. Yon just tanking on the damage. while Flash in the meantime looking for some flank and angle right here. Okay, that's
Onward, right into deck. FMM is now joining the fight. He's looking to fight. The Divine Judgment's going to be used as well.
Vanix.
And Vanix is in the back lines. He's trying to draw a beat.
wrong gun.
Deck is getting low. That's going to be life number 1. Gear is getting low as well. Dustin, be careful. That's going to be his, but Venge is down. That's going to be a big win. FMM will secure that one. Bleed now, continuing to run. They've got a little bit of a retreat here. Team Flash looking to regroup.
Yeah, but now Bleed needs to refresh, right? Needs to go back. Don't forget, that's deck already burned off the Immortality. Team Flash, on the other hand, they still have Crime God with the Flicker, but doesn't have the Divine Judgment yet. Now, Veg being down on 30 seconds, Bleed needs to make this work. This window opportunity is getting slam shot once again. Yawn, on the other hand, they can play for this 50-50. Bleed needs to find the stun onto Yawn.
Gear is not in there. He's in the bottom lane dealing with the waves. You talked about the fact that they needed split push. This is a very precarious situation for Bleed. There's 4 members here, yes, but if we're looking at what Veg is going to be up in about 8 seconds, this is a window of opportunity for Bleed, though.
Okay, now it's going to be Cram. Cram God does have the Flicker. Divine Judgment at the same time. Yawn will be going in, will be pushing deck. Deck, where's the heavy spin coming out?
It doesn't really have it, and I mean, Yawn's on the run now, and they're looking to turn this. JPL is a bit low. Cram got us out on the front, but there's the hook. That's what they needed right onto Vanix, and that's going to be massive. Secondary kill onto Jay. They're looking to fight this one. Yawn now on the run, and now Bleed Esports, they're maybe in control.
They're adding a bit of a weight, and they're forcing this window even wide open. Team Flash right here, man. Bit more than can chill. Vanix getting taken down. This is so big for Bleed. Bleed needs to make this Lord push work.
Yeah, they need to figure something out. Mind you, the top lane is pushing. That is a window. That is something else that they can do. But again, the third Lord, the Evolve Lord, very important at this 21-minute mark. But now Bleed Esports had that 4K lead.
Okay, fight, let's fight, fight, let's fight. This is what Bleed needs to do. They're massive right here. 15 seconds on the clock, but unfortunately, it's going to be Team Flash, all hands on deck when the Lord manages to march through. Now, Bleed, it's going to be the Lord sending on the top side, not the mid side, which is the shortest lane. And so the Lord has to go in the scenic road. And by the time, you know, Team Flash is there to engage on the Lord, it's already open. Now, Bleed at the very least, that's a 10K gold lead. But we're reaching that 55K gold mark, right? When everyone has full items, items doesn't really matter anymore.
It doesn't really matter, and it's all about that team fight. The Lord is crashing in the top lane, but Gear has to constantly go to the bottom lane to fix that lane. That is a window. Potentially, that could be an opportunity that they have, but now Team Flash, how do they hold, especially going into this T3 crash here?
Okay. Information being revealed. Bleed, Team Flash know that Bleed has all 4 members now with Lapulap, with the Gear marching down in the mid lane. That means that there's a 2-prong attack. That's the Lord being shoving in. That's an open base for Team Flash right here. Team Flash is not going to do anything for now. They're not going to engage. They know that they have the control. They know they have the map opportunity. Now Bleed needs to equalize the turret lead.
They need to equalize, and they need to push, but they actually pushed it back to all the way to the T3. The T2 bottom is still standing. That's a huge win, at least for Team Flash. But the conceal, a little bit off the mark by JPL on the hook as well, but Yawn has been right up front.
Yeah.
Here does need to be careful. He's going to be pulled back. Again, the dance has begun around this T3.
Okay, now, Bleed, that's good. They're trying to equalize that turret lead. Looking at the mid, looking at the bottom, any of the turrets will be good. JPL will miss the hook for now. It's going to be 5 men, all hands on deck for Team Flash on a defense. Bleed managed to turn the game around and switch it to the other side. They have a momentum right here. They need to keep holding on.
Oh, that's going to be a nice one, but it's tough edge. Unfortunately, he's getting onwards to safety. But that could have been the nice start, but unfortunately, the rest of the team wasn't there to back him up.
Man, that was so close, right? That could have been the end of Team Flash, but luckily Team Flash was able to dash out of this. Bleed, on the other hand, they're unable to punish that hook for now, so that's still A-okay. But the more that Team Flash dances around, the more chances JPL can hook, and Bleed can turn this around.
No, unfortunately not. They're going to have to back off at this point. 40 seconds on the next Lord. Again, key to all of this, right? You won that third Lord, you killed him, and then look at how much space Bleed got out of this. Are they out of this game? Don't really know, especially since Bleed Esports have a 7K net worth lead.
Look at all the immortalities that Team Flash have. Look at all the wings that all of them have from the side of Team Flash, right? Bleed needs to peel through every single one of them. I think everybody has an immortality at this rate, and Bleed needs to basically kill them multiple times. They need to bait out big ultimates. They need to bait out the time drain. They need to make sure that Jay doesn't have that, but Cram can go in!
Divine Judgment, they pull back Gear, and that could be a disaster. And look, they're looking to fight. The Cultists are keeping him alive, but Gear flickers to safety. The Sure Aura slowing them all down. FMM just trying to burst as much as he can.
FMM!
Nobody's been killed. FMM has been killed, and Venge has turned that around. but they did get Jay in return, and that's something that Sayla. But my gosh, Team Flash right now are in the driver's seat.
Yes, and Team Flash, you know, taking down the main damage dealer, but then again, Bleed on the other hand, that's also Sayla also taken down, but thank God for the passive, they managed to come back online, but Veg is super huge right here. He's just spreading damage all across the board. Bleed cannot handle, and now Team Flash, they have the Lord control right here.
What a time to die for FMM. That was his first death. He's almost had a flawless game, and at the 24th minute, right when you need him, unfortunately that was the case. He was prioritized, but this Lord is absolutely massive for Team Flash.
This Lord is an evolved Lord. Holler is going to be crashing in to either one of these open ways. Bleed on the other hand, they need all the support. FMM going down the very worst moment of the time. That cannot come in and try to fight this 50-50. They cannot contest this at all.
Not game over yet, but both of them. I mean, you talked about the fact that gold does not matter at this stage. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much coming down to that team fight. But Bleed Esports, though, if FMM goes down, they are in a world of hurt. They pretty much just lose the team fight.
Yeah, Immortality is the one that allowed Team Flash to basically turn around the fight, right? That's why they can fight a little bit longer now. Bleed, on the other hand, look at the Immortality, it's still online. Bleed needs to peel through every single thing. FMM, on the other hand, doesn't really have Immortality, needs to rely only on the Haskell and only on the Wind of Nature.
Oh my gosh, that hook was just a little off the mark. Veg is going to just kind of dance around this, but now the Lord, how do they hold? Deck is going to be up front. He's going to take up most of this.
Mid lane, short crack, Bleed, it's all wide open, Bleed. Oh my goodness, Gear gets dragged all the way back. FMM needs to use the bombs right here, but look at how it goes.
They pulled him out. Sayla, that's not the one you wanted. Sayla's going to go down. Yon will secure that one. Fear's going to be next on that list. And he's going to be bursted as well. And it looks like they shot it. That's going to be game 4. Team Flash with the victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, the curse has been broken. No more. It's going to be Bleed and RSG. This time round, enter player number 3. Team Flash will go to the grand finals.
Kin, tell us what we just saw. Break this all down for us.
Well, a new challenger has appeared. Congratulations to Team Flash SG. You are now at 2nd place. You're one step closer to having your hands on that trophy and toppling the current kings, RSG Slate SG. Now, this has been a long game, and this was a very difficult game, and I need to commend Bleed.
Guys, this is a new story in MPL Singapore being written right here.
Yes.
Team Flash, top 2. No more we're seeing RSG Slate, RSG EVOS, or RSG Slate. No pun intended, and RSG's Bleed, right? This is Team Flash going up against RSG in the grand finals, a best of 7. But wonderful job being done by Bleed right here, holding on. But it is time for them to concede.
Yep. We are going to usher in a new era because the way that Team Flash has gotten to this point is not by playing meta picks. It's not by doing the things that usual teams in Singapore have been doing. They're doing it in their own way. This is a new flashy style. And if they really take this trophy home later on today, it will send a message out to the teams. Like, stop being boring, stop being one-dimensional. It is time to up your game.
Yeah, it's like another chapter being written. 2 chapters, new chapters being written in a row if they manage to win RSG. But RSG, I think the pressure is here, right? Like, I think the pressure is there. You saw your rival, you saw your HO rival being taken down by technically a new team, the qualifying team into MPL Singapore Season 5.
They were from the qualifiers. They came all the way from qualifiers.
Which is crazy. Is this the new happy phase of Singapore, MPL Singapore?
Yeah. Yes, you have to deal with it. You have to be, you will see happy all the way till the grand finals today.
I think we're going to see more of them, and I'm actually excited to see them. The fact that they've grown so much, they played so well, put themselves in a position to win. They've got a chance now in the grand finals. Super important. Everything went your way, but can they actually take out the previous champions of RSG?
It's tough, but they have the brilliance of the genius of KZP. Is it really brilliance or is it like crazy? We don't know. But KZP, he has very high confidence. He always tell me before games, 2-0, no problem, 2-0. Yeah, so let's see. This is the best of 7 series against RSG Slate SG, the long-standing champions since Season 4.
Momentum. I think it all about the battle of momentum once again. RSG, same style as Team Flash, right? You give them one game, they will snowball out of control. Team Flash knows how to hunker down, and they know how to take advantage of bleed when they're at the lowest and they strike.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're thinking about it, right? Look at these stats here, right? Nothing is like, oh my gosh, everybody just popped off. But Veg, I mean, 5-1-4, like, you gotta ban the Edith, right? That's something that we've learned from this series, correct?
Not true. Edith is one of the win conditions. It is something that right now, Team Flash is potentially training RSG Slate SG. The focus on this Edith.
The next level.
Yes, this is the mental game that they're playing at this point. Hey, take note of my Edith. It's bannable. It's something you should take note of. And, it could be a pocket pick, but it could also be a bait. We don't know.
Yeah, and we're going to see more of that. That's going to be coming up in, of course, the 7-game series, the grand finals. That will be happening later today. And, of course, we're going to see all of the mind games. Are we going to be playing chess or are we going to play checkers, especially when it comes down to this draft here?
Or is this going to be a happy game or something? I'm looking at the 2 fleeting time for Cramgod and Jay. These are the 2 supports, and it's something that it makes sense because you have an account on the other hand. I think this draft, it's an uphill battle for Bleed. There are a few times where Bleed was able to turn it around because they baited out big ultimates, but they need to invest in a little bit too much in order to get that big ultimates out.
Yep, the catch on the marksmen were the marker of victory. When, there was a moment in time after the mid-game around that 18-minute mark where I think JPL got a very nice couple of hooks onto Vanix. My heart dropped. Because Vanix melted instantly. Delete button activated.
Yes.
He didn't even last half a second.
Yeah, and there's a lot of displacement, right? Like the Cramguard with the Divine Judgment, there's also the knockout, and there's also Yawn with the second skill that just push you left, right, center. You can't land on a hook like that. You can't land down a bloody hunt like that. And don't forget Jay on the Biggie with the second skill as well, drags you all the way back. You can't find a single target to pin down.
So one thing that was really impressive about Team Flash is that this draft was just played to every player's strength.
Correct.
Right? Like, you knew what everyone had to have done. You had, like, the initiator or the control. You had all of these people just playing very well. Like, this is a team that is actually really looking to be scary in the grand finals.
That's right. And the way they play according to how their opponent plays. That's the scary part. It is an adaptable draft. It's flexible.
Basically not following the Singapore method in a sense, right? We saw the Valera coming out as well. And then, forcing Bleed all the way to the back. Basically, we're not even at a 5th game at all. We ended at a 4th game in a 3-1 fashion. And look at just the kill participation, 90%, 100% most of the time. Vanix is, it's a marksman, right? But that's a very high kill participation as well.
Yeah, but we have to take a look at the MVP. Holler, please let us know who our MVP is.
I'm going to go... Okay, well, there we go. Cramgod is going to pick this one out. I mean, the fact that he was able to just pull everybody away, right? It was kind of like if JPL was doing the hooking, it would have been almost like the same thing, identical in that situation where you get that kill, you turn every team fight into a 5 versus 4, and it becomes very easy for you.
Yep, I'm happy for 2 reasons why he's the MVP, right? Number 1, his itemization was on point. The drafting actually kind of forced JPL to consider the Franco in the first place because Kaja would have been better. It's easier to execute a Divine Justice and Divine Judgment as well. And the second thing is, he's gonna be definitely one of the people we're interviewing later. So we were gonna see that happy again, but this time live on stage.
We saw that yesterday already. But I mean, man, this was a long drawn out fight. Once again, I feel bad because, we voted for Bleed. A lot of pressure is riding on this team to be top 2 once again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we need to give way because, like what one of us said, there's not enough. The stage cannot support 2 Titans' weight. And finally, we will be writing a new chapter for MPL Singapore in season number 5.
Yep, I'm totally ready to usher in a new age of MLBB for Singapore esports. And of course, with that, I want to hear your thoughts on how this whole series has been for you, Holler.
I think it's just been mind-blowing, right? The fact that we're getting to this level, I mean, it's so impressive to see a team grow, right? From the qualifiers all throughout the entire league, people were very questionable on this team, but they've gotten to the point where you got to respect them. How do they draft? How do they do all these things? It's such a well-coached team that we're seeing them just start to peak at the right moment. It's the perfect timing. But of course, that's going to be it for us. This is the loser bracket finals. This is going to be the mic check going right now.
Pull, I think. I pull now, G. I pull now, him, ah.
Look.
I pull him now, I pull him now, ah.
I'm hold here.
We good.
Just look for Tartar.
Nice.
Guys, shut up.
Look. Back up.
Cannot.
Just back. Guys, just back, guys. Don't fight.
I strong.
Nice. Chill.
Relax. It is Aka Itaka. Wait.
I pull Branco.
Go.
I pull Branco, ah. Go. Just war.
Fucking name.
Just go. Just chill.
No.
Lord.
I know actually.
Just do. Nice.
Pull him.
I should name him.
Lapo dead, ah.
I should name him. Go.
War. Just that one is Paramis nice.
Guys, we end.
Watch me now.
Lot in. We can end.
Guys, I pull Paramis. I pull Paramis, ah. Paramis dead.
War.
Hey guys, Franco, me.
It's okay, no damage.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you think you know MPLSG, think again. Right here with this win in match 1 of playoffs day 3, we see our top 2 right here with us today. Unexpected win right here against, most of our casters' predictions and a lot of viewers' prediction. They have taken down one of our titans. Will they successfully take down the reigning defending champions of RSG Slate SG? We're really looking forward to find that out after this match that we have seen, ladies and gentlemen. And now I have Vanix as well as KZP right here beside me. We have so many questions for you guys. Firstly, Vanix, I don't know what you did. Did you have like a spa day to relax, or did you have some great meals? Like the playoffs, the regular season's you and the playoffs you, it's totally different. What happened?
Nothing happened. It's just more serious in playoff, because we want to get the champion.
It was literally like 0 to 100. It was a whole new Vanix. All eyes was on you right now. Crazy. Right, so okay, we come forth here this way, more centralized. So now you have gotten the attention on you. Anything that you want to say?
I help him translate lah. So basically, what he was saying just now is thank you to all the fans and friends and family out there. Thank you for seeing my Claude, my Beatrix. Even though sometimes I still, cock up, but life is short, Right. Yeah. That's what I help him translate.
Right, a little bit tongue-tied. Now, is this match nervous for you guys? Because after all, you went against one of our Titan.
I think when I joined Flash as a coach, I always want to break the norm. I see MPL season 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always RSG against, the 2 Titans. I think I want to set a good example that even though they have never been this far, but with proper resource, with proper education on esports, we can break the norm.
That's very well said indeed. And I don't know, like what I actually saw. There was a little bit of nervousness when you guys played Evil yesterday, but still clean sweep right there. But this one, it was different. When you guys came on stage, like the entire Team Flash, not just KCP. KCP is chill as always, but everybody else playing there, they just have that look of fearlessness in your face. Like, why? Like, are you not nervous going against one of the Titans? You guys look super relaxed and fearless. Fearless Flash.
I help you translate again. So basically what he's trying to say is we only have, we dropped down from winner bracket, so we left with our last chance. Life is short, just play to his best, take one step at a time, and then if we win, we win. If we lose, we embrace it. Correct or not?
Yeah.
Right. And so once again, just want to ask you guys, we have seen unorthodox picks. Gonna bring up once again Luo Yi that we have seen. We have also seen Divalier yesterday, and today a surprise Florin. What is the whole idea about that Florin?
I think I said yesterday that during the interview, we were just testing Hugo. I mean, we are fighting against full-timers, so we cannot beat them through the normal drafting, how any other team play. Because it will be too predictable, it will be like, they know what's going on and they know the weakness and strength. So picking up heroes that are different, but at the same time my players can play, will change the entire scenario. So it makes Bleed not able to execute what they want in the first place. So I can safe to say I outdrafted to Singapore coach.
Wow. So see, KCP is just really happy right now. It's just on cloud 9. So this today is gonna be a crazy marathon for you guys. Hope you're wearing running shoes. Great, because this is not a best of 3, guys. We're seeing the first match best of 5, and the next one a best of 7, and it's going to be a fight. So yes, you have probably read the book of Bleed Esports, but what about RSG Slate SGs?
Actually, we still got a lot of things haven't shown. So look forward.
So you tarry right here until match 2, and you still have more of these cards that you want to show. Wow. So the thing is, when it comes to all these Titans who have been very established, and we have seen them play so much, it's kind of textbook plays, but are you able to read that textbook plays?
I mean, at the moment, I'm considered the best Singaporean coach, right? Because Dolly come from Indonesia. So let's see how it goes.
All right, we will see indeed. So I hope that this interview is not KZP featuring Vanix. So I want to ask Vanix some questions as well instead of nodding yes. So Vanix, right now the target is going to be on you. You have been rather under the radar in regular season, and like here at playoffs, you're like, it's my time to shine. So now you've gotten their attention. How are we going to approach, you know, that match, that final match that's going to determine if you guys are going to represent Singapore and take that championship spot?
Just play and have fun.
Like, are you going to rely on your teammates to really protect you and make you shine?
Yes. Yes. I translate for him again. So basically what I'm saying is, he don't really need protection. So he will just play according to how each game scenario goes and do his best. Mistakes are bound to make. So whoever make the least mistake will win the game.
All right, so thank you so much, friends, for this interview. Congratulations once again. Now, top 2. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the fearless Team Flash. Thank you, guys. Absolutely amazing. Wow, now this was the twist that we weren't expecting. Most of you online and even for most of our live audiences, we were anticipating once again the clash of the 2 Titans for grand finals. But here, Flash, they came in just like fearless, and they have taken the game, the first match, a best of 5 right here from Bleed itself, and it was a spectacular run, and we have seen beautiful plays right here from Team Flash itself. So yes, they are definitely one to watch with unorthodox picks and so much more to offer. And there they are going to our grand finals. and they will be met with our defending champions, RSG Slate SG, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is not going to be easy for Team Flash. Reason being, as I said, this is not a regular race. This is a marathon right here at playoffs, and especially right here at day 3, because they have played a grueling 4 matches. Even though they have emerged victorious, what awaits them later on in match 2 is a brutal best of 7. And if they are playing at the rate they are playing now, going against our defending champions, man, oh man, we could be looking at a full drawn-out series like we were in Season 4. So ladies and gentlemen, this is an upcoming match that you don't want to miss, happening at 4:30 p.m. The grand finals right here for MPLSG Season 5. For those of you who are watching, we are live right here at Suntec City Mall. If you would love to get your family and your friends to come on down and join us and soak in that electric energy that we have here, we implore you to come on down and join us today. Reason being, we have huge real estate right here today. If you guys could see the venue, there is level 2, level 3 as well, where you guys get a bird's eye view of this crazy venue. So head on down and join us as well. We also have worked with fantastic merchants right here for MPLSG Season 5 as well, where you guys get sweet deals because you are here for MPLSG Season 5. So once again, friends, this is the grand finals that's coming up next at 4:30 p.m. We'll see you there. Be there or be square when we crown our champions.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
Osim.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused by Tira in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. This is Team Hulk's secret for acne-free skin.
each other's back. We're the best duet ever.
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused by Tira in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. This is Team Hawk's secret for acne-free skin.
Priestess of primal lightning, the hunter of all the evil gods. Legendary! Meet your end! Legendary! Double kill!
each other's back. We're the best duet ever.
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
Osim.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian and Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused bacteria in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian and Acno 5. This is Team Half Secret for acne-free skin.
Priestess of primal lightning, the hunter of all the evil gods. Meet your end.
each other's back. We're the best duet ever.
The melody is my calling. The music of my bow will cleanse their hearts.
Supernova to the rescue. Music is the strongest form of magic.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
Osim.
Defeated due to oily and acne skin? Take 5, bro. Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. Fights 99.9% acne caused by Tira in just 10 seconds. Become Champion Extra GG with Guardian Man Acno 5. This is Team Hawk's secret for acne-free skin.
I am the priestess of primal lightning, the hunter of all the evil gods.